I didn't sell out, son. I bought in. Keep that in mind.
Welcome to the Independent Characters episode 263. This is Carl.
This is Adan.
This is Skye.
And this is Josh.
What? 4 people on a podcast.
Yeah, and in person.
It would almost be too many if it weren't moderated. So,
Oh, just wait.
yeah, it's going to be a mess.
It's still too many.
Bear with us. We've brought everybody together for an episode of the Warrior Lodge. If you don't know what that is, it's a moderated discussion. I kind of go through the interwebs and look at what people are talking about, what's hot, what people are
assess the
complaining
drama.
about. I try to make it things we might disagree on, but we've got Adan here, so we'll probably disagree on a few things. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Goodness.
Makes it more interesting.
That's right. That's going to live forever in my head.
I know.
Rent free.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get to the announcements real quick. This show is sponsored by Paul Russell and the Red Wolf, who I realized later is Steve Noya. So,
Oh, yeah. Double.
yeah. So, hey. So thank you very much. These members of our Patreon support us, and we very much appreciate it. So thanks for your amazing support.
And Steve, pick up your cards.
Yeah, and your cards are here. We are part of the Goonhammer Media Network, so check out media.goonhammer.com for more shows and information. Just talked about the show concept. This is the Warrior Lodge. We've done a bunch of these. We'll continue to do them because I think they're actually pretty fun. And then the Hobby Progress Challenge 2025 is going to be live September 21st.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, September 1st.
Right around the corner.
Yep.
September 1st. Hobby Progress
The
Challenge.
first day of September.
Somebody pointed out to me last episode, and there's like a hiccup in the sound.
Oh, yeah.
When I talk about Cubicle 7.
Is it cubicle?
Cubicle 7.
I heard pubicles.
Not Cubicle 7. And I really don't want
That's a
that
different
to get,
company.
I really don't want that to get back to
If
them.
you're not on the
because
Discord, you're missing out. So,
I really don't want that to get back to them because they were nice enough to send me sample copies of that.
and so you're hoping they don't listen to the show.
Which, by the way, a member of our Patreon won the core rulebook for that because I
Awesome.
already
That's
had
fantastic.
One. I sent it out to him.
Sounds like a fun system.
For the winners of the Hobby Progress Challenge 2024, all the prizes have been mailed out, so they should be arriving if they haven't already. There's a few people that we have had to go do T-shirt orders for because we were out of certain sizes, so we have ordered those. Those should be coming soon. Actually, the guy sent me the proof, and the proof was wrong. It had the logo on the sleeve, which because it was the setup for our
Oh, yeah. For the name
staff
shirts.
shirts.
Yeah.
The staff shirts, yeah.
And so, So anyway, I sent him back, said, Nate, you need to correct this? And so he's getting that corrected. So Hobby Progress Challenge 2025. The rules are all posted. They are more flexible than ever.
And what day does it start?
September 1st.
21st?
Sponsored by Cubicle 7.
You have until the 10th of every month to get your entries in.
Yeah.
Good point.
And so let me just quickly kind of go over. There's a series of 11 categories of which you can achieve 6 of those that are kind of free floating categories that are bonus months. So in the past, what we did was we said, well, this month is vehicle month. And if you painted a vehicle, we felt that Shell felt that this is actually all her idea, I think. So she felt this was very restrictive. And so what she did was she and I came up with 11 categories. Originally 10, then she thought of another one. And of these categories, you can pick whenever you want to do them.
Only 6 of them.
But only 6 of them over the course, 1 per month. By the way, you can only get 2 points per month. But over that period, you can do them in any order, and they're very flexible. Like one's literally like clean your hobby desk and reset the mechanism, right?
So you could do an extra one like every other month.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 out of 12.
Yeah. Or you could do all 6 right in a row. Totally up to you.
Yeah.
There you go. So, or you could skip a month and then do 3 others. However you want to mix it up.
Yeah, I guess. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it's super flexible. It offers lots of potential. I know the last one, like Shell and I had gone to dinner after we published the rules, and then she was like, we should come up with something where people get to finish models they have like half done. And if they finish like 2 units, that equals 1 unit, they get a bonus. Okay, so we put that up there.
Little catch-up mechanic.
Yeah.
Not that any of us have partially painted models or anything.
Everybody does.
A catch-up mechanic, something that could be used in Necromunda and Mordheim and a bunch of these other systems that you can run over. Never mind.
We're at over 80 people have signed up already to participate.
Yeah.
The other thing I would throw out there is, I've seen some people say, well, I can't achieve this year because I've got something going on or whatever. All you have to do is paint 1 model.
Yeah.
And you're automatically
and you get 1 entry. Right. I mean, it's like
a single entry
take it.
makes you eligible for prize support.
Yeah, take it.
People have won the lotto on a single ticket.
You can start a paint job in April, complete it in December, and go, well, okay, it's my December entry, and here you go, and you get the entry. So
I have a question just in terms of mechanics.
Okay, here we go.
Starts on the 1st.
There's an FAQ.
Did you read the instructions?
I actually watched the video, okay?
Well, I don't know what video that was, but
That's the problem. There isn't one. Watching somebody else's video.
he is already senile.
Oh, wow. We're already going to go there.
All right, what's the question?
So I have 8, 9, 10 units that I have already primed for my Orc Fury Road army.
Yeah.
So I take pictures of each unit. And do I just not put a start date on the cards and then finish them? I mean, do it like month by month as I finish them, or how do I?
So you're saying you want to paint them all in 1 month and then get credit over the course of the year?
Maybe.
No, that's fine. That's a legitimate.
That's a way to. You can do that.
Sure. Yeah. Create them in advance. Here's my March one. You don't post them until that month.
Right.
comes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But absolutely, you can predate them, like we used to write checks.
Checks. Yeah. You predate your
Don't
check.
cash it till Tuesday.
Who's old now?
You recognize it.
Wow. I stepped right into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, you can absolutely do that.
Perfect.
It's don't cash it till March. Don't
Right.
cash it till April.
Right.
Then you post it, and then you post the completed one. You can post the completed one the next day, as far as I care.
Right. Yeah. Awesome.
So, yeah, you can absolutely look. The whole objective of the thing is to get you to paint some models.
Yeah.
And if you paint them all up front, we'll give you credit.
The
for
war
this one.
against gray plastic.
That's right. The 5th war against gray. That's getting old.
Yeah. It's interesting because we used to do the hobby challenge back in the old days on the,
Listen, easy. The old days.
I can say the old days.
on the 40K Fight Club. That's kind of where we carried
too
some
easy.
of the ideas over. What was interesting for me and was motivating for me was this was back in the old forum days where you had like a signature block.
Yep.
And every month that you completed it, you got a little icon that you could put in your signature block to show that you'd finished that month. And that actually was like, I need to get my icon, right? And it was actually an extra motivator for me.
Let me see if there's something we can't do.
The collector in you.
You can do it with,
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
memberships on Discord.
And if you did I can't remember, there was a way to get a silver entry and a gold entry. And I can't remember the difference now, but
Listen, maybe that's something we can do in the
threads
in Discord. Maybe we can give people badges for completions. We'll figure it out. That's a cool idea. Wish you'd brought it up not on air. No, but it is a cool idea. Let me look into it. It's a great idea, Adan. Let me see if we can't figure out something. All right. Listen, we got a lot to cover.
This is going to be a long show.
So let's try to make it a tight show.
you're telling me to be quiet.
No, I'm saying let's move on. Okay, so Elite Choice. This is the best thing we've seen from our community or neighboring communities in the last 2 weeks. I'll just go ahead and go first. I chose Lucas D and his take on these Heresy era Death Guard, which I just think, first off, his weathering is just the cat's meow, man. I mean, this stuff looks absolutely amazing. That's why in this document that is our show notes, I showed like the vehicles as well. It's just like he is just killing it. These are beautiful models, man.
Yeah, what caught my eye was the banner on the Terminators.
Oh yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah,
it looks. I'm really into banners on models though. Like
on the backpacks and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's a really cool look. And in fact, one of my favorite like black and white pictures from a codex. I think it's even the Blood Angels Codex. They're like holding this massive banner in front of like, I think it's supposed to be the walls of Terra.
Well, that was the thing in Dawn of War, right? The guy planting the big banner.
Dawn of War
Remastered.
edition is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was just looking at all those in my Steam library, and I gotta give these a play again.
You get a discount if you already have them in your Steam library too.
I have them all.
30% off. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's what I chose.
The helmets on these, like that ivory helmet on just the baseline guys or the heavy weapon guys there, it's fantastic, and it's such a really nice call out or tie in to the original Dusk Wraith color scheme.
Yeah.
Of Death Guard.
Yeah, really good.
What is the helmet on that one guy that you have in the solo picture? That's
Well, he's done a bunch of kit bashing as well. So
because that helmet on the guy that's in the single picture,
The faceplate.
Yeah.
That's really
pretty
cool.
wild.
yeah.
Even the Terminators are, I think, third party because they're true scale. Those aren't the traditional.
Are they?
Yeah, that's why they look so good.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true.
The Cataphracti Terminators are showing their age, which is why the new ones are coming out for.
Oh, yeah, those do look
Really
they're
nice
just- they
paint
look
job.
cool.
Yeah, true scale.
Either way, it's
Yeah.
gorgeously
Yeah.
painted army.
Yeah, Kratos is sick.
All right. Who's next?
So I went with Eric Lofgren's Auspex table that him and his local group did a little get together to create this, this is fantastic. This is a Hive City that they're focusing the major campaign in there, but then they're integrating
The Epic Empires.
It's Epic Empire style, but they have all these little magnetic points where you can attach flags for, I'm assuming, player control on there. But there's a Hive City with its kind of blast wall that surrounds that. And then there's the outskirt areas. There's like a wreck city. There's, I believe, a crash ship out there. And they're doing different game systems are taking place in different parts of this map, which is just such a cool concept. And it's Auspex, so it's very much that like bright green holographic kind of vibe to it. And it's just such a cool execution of a really, really neat concept.
I did like a triple take.
Yeah,
When
no,
I was scrolling, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what is that?
Yeah, it's just so cool.
Yeah, you talked about this on the last Lost to the Nails podcast, but I hadn't seen the pictures till he posted them here. And it looks so good.
Yeah.
Nice plug. But yeah, this does look good.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm kidding.
15% off at Harry Games.
It does look fantastic. I completely agree. And it had me going and pulling out my tiles going, what can we do with this? But it's like, that's why I'm very interested to know like what the rules are he uses. He says he's going to publish them on Goonhammer. And I'm very interested to know how we can leverage stuff like that. I love the concept. I love the system. It ran into a few problems. He's clearly aware of those problems. So I'm curious to see what they boil those down to. I have the Mighty Empires tiles for fantasy.
Right.
I have 2 boxes of those, and I have 2 boxes of the what are they called?
We could build a world together.
Imperialis?
No. What was the 40K ones called?
There was Epic Empires and Planetary
It's the Planetary Empires.
Empires.
Yeah.
Epic Empires is my personal.
No. It's Planetary Empires and
Mighty Empires.
Mighty Empires. Yeah.
So, I have 2 sets of each of those. So like I could create like a massive board. This is all 3D printed and
I was going to say,
scaled up.
and you have a 3D printer.
And I have 3D printers. So this is all scaled up. It looks fantastic.
It looks great.
Yep.
Jealous.
Do something like this with the Titanicus campaign that they run at Adepticon too. And
It's so fun.
Yeah.
That thing is awesome.
Yes, but you could do something very similar to that with a system like this. Yeah, and it just looks great. So
Adan, what did you pick?
I picked, so Tom Garrett stuff, he's Jehoshaphat on Discord. And it was funny because I saw it on Discord first and I would messaged him to say, hey, do you mind me using your real name? What's your real name? And I went to Facebook. So, oh, he posted under his real name. Tom Garrett. It's a Kriegsman on one of their kind of
Sort of horses.
Sort of not horses.
Horse-like creature.
Horse-like creature. And I just really like the way that he like blended the purples in and the greens and blues and the way he kind of flowed them all back and forth. Like if you notice the reins, or not the reins, but the connection of the saddle onto the beast kind of flows into the color on the bottom of the legs, and
The hooves and legs look disturbing.
yeah. I mean, and I think that's a great effect for what he's doing here.
Yeah.
And apparently the sword, you can't really see it in the photos, but the sword is apparently almost like a hyperglow effect. He said it doesn't
Translate well.
in the photos. Yeah. But no, I think it really caught my eye.
It's
nice.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
I like leaning into the kind of alien nature of the horse too.
Yes.
By accentuated the feet with that kind of more vibrant purpley pink.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Skye, what did you pick?
I picked Mark Kilburn's Swarmlord conversion.
What the heck is that?
Yeah,
This is awesome.
It's awesome. I'm a sucker for kit bashes, and I'm a sucker for really good kit bashes. And I have to say, this one is a great combination of multiple kits. You've got like the 30K model, you've got some 40K hands in there.
Yep, that's from the
Castellan
Robots.
Yeah, Castellan Robots. And I think it's awesome. He's posted throughout, right?
It's a stand-in for a Swarmlord.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's being piloted by a Gene Stealer.
Such a cool concept of Gene Stealer cult
That's the concept that really throws it over the top.
as Tyranny.
great.
Yeah.
And I think he went to the extra level, right? You could have just put the robot in there, stuck the guy in, and been like, it's a Swarmlord, it's the same size, but adding in an extra piece for the torso, making sure it has 6 arms, it's just it's awesome. So kudos. It's beautiful.
I'm super fascinated in this kind of stuff, especially these kinds of conversions, because I've been in my head thinking about, I have the Demon Engine list for the Chaos Space Marines. I really want to embrace like the whole Dark Mechanicus kind of aspect. And I've been kind of toying around with, what pieces, like I've been looking at the website, what pieces can I convert to other pieces? Like I really like the conversion I did for what's his name? The
Vashdor.
Vashdor, the Arcaphane. And I'd like to do more of that to make the units look more unique.
Well, I'm just like holding my breath because they did the Dark Mechanicum for Imperialis.
Yeah.
It's like they have the files, just got to supersize them.
I don't think it's that easy. Maybe they made them big initially and shrunk them down.
Oh, honey, I shrunk the Mechanicus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, they used to do 3-ups, right? That's how they used to do the
now
original models.
Now it's all digitally done.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm just saying, start big, come
Looks
small.
awesome.
Yeah.
This looks awesome. This is a great choice on
Good
your
call.
part. And what a clever idea. What a clever idea. All right, let's launch.
Launch even.
You okay?
Cubicle 7.
Cubicle 7. September 1st.
On September 1st, yeah.
All right, let's launch into the workbench, hobby progress. So myself, I have been focused on painting Terminators for Shell's Space Hulk project. I've got them all assembled. Now we're at the painting phase.
So you're painting Terminators for her project.
Listen.
It
Happy
takes
wife,
a
happy
village.
life. Yeah.
Happiness.
Listen. Yes.
It takes a village to purge a infestation.
That's true.
I'll
true.
Just leave it.
However, I will say, like, I bought a bunch more Gene Stealers from somebody.
Yeah.
And I just handed her the box. I'm like, you can assemble these. And next thing I know, I came home and she like assembled
There you
like
go.
20 of them. I'm like, oh, okay.
Sweet.
You're on it. So, and I told her she can paint those. I am kind of excited about the Terminators because I'm doing an oil wash on them. It's the first time I've done the oil wash. Travis walked me through it on video
look so good.
Get a chance
because
to
Josh
practice
has
it,
abandoned me. And I think that it doesn't seem particularly complicated.
Well, and his Space Wolves with the oil wash look amazing.
They look fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I think these the 2 squads that I've done so far are the Salamanders and the Imperial Fists. I have to do the helmets. That's the last piece. And then put on the decal, coat them, then do the oil wash. Done. Done. Bases, but I've got a bunch of the old like Space Hulk bases.
Terminators look so good too with all the plating and recesses in there. The oil wash.
I really
brings it
enjoy
to life.
painting Terminators too, and I've done like a lot of techniques that I've learned from Caleb on these. So like I'm really enjoying the
process.
Yeah, the process and the way they're coming about.
Nice.
So did that. The other thing I did, thanks to Skye Herrick over there at Herrick Games, 15% off, by the way, if you're
You're a Patreon, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I bought a bunch of Gamer Grass bases for my Sisters of Battle, of which I only have one squad of sisters painted up, as well as Celestine and her 2.
So you only need one thing of bases.
Ooh, listen, we'll get there. You're
Lots more models to go.
don't beat me to the punchline. These are not cheap. They're not cheap. I had seen them before and looked at them, and honestly, Travis using them on his from Life After the Cover Save. Travis using them on his Space Wolves really got me.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
They look great.
And then I started talking to Skye, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see, I get a discount for the Patreon thing. And then I'm like, okay, how many do I need? I'm like, I need a lot, you know,
sisters.
because it's a sisters army.
Yep.
But I'm like, or do I want to paint those bases? Okay. And I told it up. I'm like, okay. And then
Time versus money.
I mean, it was, you know, I mean, you're paying for Sisters Army. I was paying, I don't remember what it was, 240, 300, somewhere in there for all the bases. They're gorgeous looking bases. I think they look fantastic.
So they're resin bases that are pre-painted with
Tufts.
tufts of grass already on them.
and they have slots for magnets on the bottom already. And they just look fantastic. Like this particular style I bought, which is the temple room.
Yeah, the temple one. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I couldn't be happier.
They look great.
I couldn't be happier. And then, you know, Skye came over for our 25th wedding anniversary party, and he was supposed to bring him, and he forgot. And I was so disappointed. Wow. And that was on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they showed up Monday. And I was like, okay, you're forgiven. Like, it shipped fast. I mean, I'm not very far, but I do like them. I'm glad I made the purchase.
Yeah, I got turned on to him with my friend Ivan, who uses them on his. He's a Golden Demon winner.
When
And I was
Ivan
like,
said he
snap.
used them, I was like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I could do that hack. Golden Demon winner does it. So I like it too because I don't know why.
Does he
but-
happen to use gold Sharpies? I'm just asking for a friend.
No, I know his gold recipe, and it is
chalk that up to a no.
pain in the butt. Yeah. I was painting up a kill team for Eldar, and I was having like painting the kill team was rough, and then just thinking about doing the bases, I was like, I do not want to do this at all. And then I found their desert ones, and I just glued it on it, and I painted the outside, and I was like, all right, that's
Done.
good enough. Like I didn't want to spend another 2 hours on every base.
Oh wait, they
which is-
have desert ones.
they've got 7 or 8 different ones, and they've got all the sizes
The
you
desert
want.
ones look good, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they-
So is the desert? Is the desert color? Is it like a light brown sand color?
yeah, it's a light tan. It's got some cacti on it. It's nice.
You know
So
what you can
it
do?
would
You
look
can
like
go to
Orcs on
the-
Fury Road.
You can go to the link in our show notes.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It'll take you right to their site.
Yeah.
This stuff is really good. Listen,
And-
I mean, you're paying for it, but I like it.
Yeah, and they've got a whole line. If you don't want fully pre-painted bases, they've got like sandbags and stuff I was using for my Iron Warriors to do trench warfare.
Yeah.
They've got everyone has tufts, but their tufts are really good. And the nice thing is they use their own tufts on there and their own pigments. So you can actually like
Make it match.
Yeah, you can take bases you already have, or you can put the pigments on your guys to then make them so they don't just look like they're glued on top of the base.
Right.
And the tufts on them are all random. So even though you have like the same 8 bases repeated, the
Right.
tufts actually break it up. So it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
The same 8 bases.
Yeah. So now
8
you can get
bases
to
in
the
a pack.
punchline. So each case pack is about $20. You get 8 32 millimeter bases in that. Units are typically units of 10.
Typically.
So they do the hot dog bun thing where it's like, you know, that doesn't match. But to your point earlier, Josh, yeah, but if you buy 5 of them, then you got
When you're feeding an army hot dogs, those extra buns are going to be utilized.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna move on from this joke, but yeah. So you do have to calculate that in.
Right.
Listen, I'm not gonna complain that I have to overbuy just a few 32 millimeter bases because it's not like I'm not gonna use them at some point.
Right, and at some point you might want to add a Melta.
What if I add a character?
Yeah,
or
add a Melta
gun
squad.
or-
Yeah, right.
Right. And it's like, okay, well, I've got an extra base. And then, you know, again, for $20, I think you get like 2 60 millimeter bases or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It scales up.
you know, it is pricey, but every pack is, I think, meant to be
It-
$20.
And it makes sense. Like you're saying, they're trying to keep the price the same for all the packs.
I guess it makes sense. Probably makes sense to their CFO or something.
Yeah.
I've been impressed by the company too. They're based out of Portugal. They've always been super responsive.
You ordered these for me and they arrived relatively quickly.
Yeah, they're super fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So they're a great company. They've got good supply lines. I've been impressed with them as a company.
I bought some of their warpstone things for my old world
Nice.
Sentinels.
All right. Well, enough about that. Josh, You've been gone forever.
Yeah. Work went crazy.
okay.
Lots of travel.
Listen, that's good.
I think I've been in 14 states this year for 1 or 2 short trips for travel for vacation, but a lot of work trips. So this year's been a little wild. So it's been good, but yeah, it's been busy.
And is this long list? I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Is it just the last 2 weeks?
That's maybe 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's been busting it out.
It's concentrated. So most of this, or a big chunk of this, was I was finishing up a bunch of stuff for the Old World Escalation League that I was taking place
At where?
at Herrick Games.
Oh yeah. You get a 15% off discount.
Sure
And free
do.
shipping over
$100.
$100. You're a patron, yeah.
And Patreon members get an extra 5% off. There have been so many people that forget about that. I'm reminding you right here. Anyway, so I didn't get to participate in the finale of that, but I did finish my full 2,000 points of Old World Vampire Counts.
Nice.
But I did get that painted in time to go and participate in Old World in the Desert, which Tom talked a little bit about last episode.
Yeah.
Down south with Travis, Ed, Blake, Tom, and John.
Yeah.
So got the vampire accounts all across the finish line there. Then I went to Washington for Westermunda, so I was painting a ton of terrain for that. I think I printed and painted about 3 3x3 tables worth of desert terrain.
Wow.
It looked awesome.
So there's a bunch of rock outcroppings, pillars, arches, cacti, a bunch of resin. I printed a bunch of resin cacti, made little bases full of cacti. And then I was taking it, being Western themes, like somebody needs to be the sheriff here. So I brought my enforcers. So I had to paint up my Sanctioner pattern automata, which is their kind of their Ambot version ish, and then the Taros Venator, which is their dune buggy for the desert, which was super fun to paint. Both models were really fun
For
to paint.
that event, which I was invited to but couldn't go because we were prepping for our anniversary party.
Yeah.
I was amazed at how much prep work everybody did.
Oh yeah.
It was incredible.
It was a really good communal effort. Yeah. Everybody pitched in, and the tables look fantastic. The armies look fantastic. All the gangs were great.
We'll go into depth in it in a Patreon episode after this, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go over briefly kind of the event for games played, but we're definitely we'll do a deep vibe for that. For
deep vibe?
Deep vibe.
Yeah.
Deep vibe of the dive.
From Cubicle 7?
From Cubicle 7.
On September 1st.
We're old and tired.
Yeah.
Except for little baby Skye.
Very cool.
So after getting Westermunda stuff prepped, this year's been interesting that all the games I've played this year have been at events, whether it was War on the Shore, Adepticon, Westermunda, the Mordheim weekend that we did, or the Old World weekend. Like every single game I've played this year has been at an event. So finally done with events for the year.
So no more games.
So I'm done with games. No, it's been really nice getting back to the Eldar. So I did go on an assembly spree to try and get the Eldar going again. So I assembled a box of Fire Dragons, I assembled an Autarch, I assembled a box of Warp Spiders, and I assembled a box of Shroud
How do the new Fire Dragons and stuff go together? Like
They're
I imagine they
mold
fit
lines
perfect.
are not miserable. Minimal is what I was going to say. The opposite of miserable. Really minimal mold lines. I've always just been pretty fastidious about cleaning mold lines.
Yeah.
So I'm still spending a little time on them, but honestly, there's very little that you need to do. They are amazing kits.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's exciting to hear.
Yeah. So that's where I am, and I'm very excited to start. I think for my 2,000 point list that I'm building towards right now, I've got 11 models left to build, and I've got 500 points of that painted already, and a bunch of it primed and ready to go. So I'll be going pretty quick on that with the 2025 Hobby Progress Challenge.
And so do you write down your paint scheme so you know what to do after you can go back to it?
Yeah.
I 100% do that now. And
Yes.
like in detail, exactly what number of the type of paint I use. And then I email it to myself and I file it in a folder. All my paint schemes are in a folder in my Gmail account.
I use iCloud Notes, so it's already cloud synced to all my devices. But it's been a year since I painted my.
That's what I was going to say. It's been a while.
I definitely made good notes on how to do this. It'll be interesting to see how the next batch comes out. I'll probably do a vehicle as my test because it's a much bigger just kind of platform to apply paint towards and give me a little bit more wiggle room of bringing the scheme back to life on. But I'm very excited to get back to
I
it.
wish I'd done a little bit more. Usually what I do is when I finish with a unit or model, I'll take a picture that has all the paints behind it that I used, but it doesn't
so that you can't find that picture later.
Well, no, I have a folder that I keep the pictures in, but I wish I kept more detailed notes on the orcs I did last year because I'm doing orcs again this year.
To get them to match.
Yeah.
I am meticulous about it now. Like even all the Space Hulk guys I've been painting, every single one, like this is what I do. This is how I do it.
Oh, good.
I just forget.
Just reinvent it every time. It's fun that way too.
I'm like, this silver is close enough.
It's an exciting.
Well, and with orcs, that would be fine anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm the
professional,
young skipper.
you and I.
He bought his way.
So he's doing hand signals to different parts of the table is what he's doing here.
I'll let the listeners decide who was who.
Yeah. Who's who? Yeah.
Don, what have you been working on, bud?
So I assembled 2 units of Breaka Boys. That's the kill team unit for the newer kill team unit for the orcs. Mm-hmm. And they're basically an anti-tank unit. And they ride around in the trucks in my army. And then this is all for the Fury Road Grand Narrative thing.
Right.
And then I primed the Breaka Boys, 2 War Trikes, 12 Bikers, 2 Rucka Trucks, 2 Megatrack Scrap Jets, and 1 of each of the other buggies. I primed everything. And I got some green on the orcs that were in the buggies and on the bikes. And it's interesting. It was interesting to me, and I just kind of really quickly hit a bunch of green on there. How just that one color, because I played a game where everything just primed.
Yeah. Because just to get the feel for it.
I'm trying to learn the detachment and everything. And then I played again after I'd put the green on them. I was like, wow, that one little thing made a huge difference in just how it appeared to me on the table.
This is kind of why, I don't mind playing games like that. And I like to see the person making lots of progress as they go.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying out this new unit. Maybe I don't like it. It's going to go to the back of the line for my painting.
Yeah. And that's the case for some of my stuff. And
listen, perfect example of that is I had Colin paint up all those 1,000 Suns. I played them once and I'm like, oh my God, I need some speed bumps.
Yeah.
Colin, how do you feel about
some Zangors?
How do you feel about painting Zangors? It was like, and I almost wish I had played it before sending it off to be painted.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. I will talk to my opponent and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. You cool? And most, everybody has been, that's fine. Whatever.
Free 10 points.
Yeah. Right.
No, those arms are green.
Primer's a color.
It's black, right? It's a color. It's not
The base is black. They're green.
Dry brush some silver on there.
And gray plastic. 3 colors.
It's a hologram.
It's a hologram. Yes. So actually, and that actually was the case. My original list, the 2,000 point list, had Gazgul in it. And I was like, this is too much of a point hog. I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
And talking to Taryn Olmstead, who's longtime orc player, really good with his orcs, and we had a lot of good talks. I'll talk about that later. But I've been playing games to try and get that, figure out the list. So I painted that stuff. I assembled. So the big assembly thing is the Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler.
Yeah.
So this
is the thing you're converting, right?
Yeah. So that's going to end up being the Doof Warriors wagon. It actually has a name. I can't remember what it's called. And it's going to be counts as kill rig, which is not bad in close combat. And so it's a Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler, and I was trying to figure out, how am I going to? The front end of it looks very similar.
Yeah.
According to Carl, it does not look the same, but
it doesn't look the same, but it does look similar.
It's the same picture. And so my son was coming from my son
glasses cleaner here.
Yeah.
Time to get those trifocals.
So my son Spencer was coming from Philly with his wife, and he's really great at kit bashing. He's the one who helped me with all of the orc cosplay stuff from last year's Grand Narrative.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing.
Yeah, I'm just going to power on through.
Keep going.
So he was really
Mike.
He was really great at being able. He actually did mute his mic. Oh my God. We can still hear you through my mic.
That's Skye.
Oh, wow. Okay, so for further entertainment value here.
Anyway, keep.
Yeah. So Spencer shows up to visit in town for family stuff, and he's very good at converting things, and he has a very artistic mind. And so we really kind of went back and forth about how can I make this work, and how do I get the speakers set up. And so what I ended up doing is crafting out of paper the ducts that were on the back. 'Cause if you look at the doof wagon, it actually has industrial.
You want to tell people what the doof wagon is again?
So this is
If they
from
didn't
Fury
listen to
Road.
the last episode, yeah.
Yeah, so this is from Fury Road, the movie,
Max, yeah.
which is 10 years old now.
So is Age of Sigmar.
True. And it's interesting. They came out at the same time. I wonder. Anyway,
No.
no. So I used paper to create the duct because the back of the Doof Warrior is the guy who's playing the guitar with the flames coming out of it, along with all the folks chasing Furiosa in the war wagon that she's driving. So I wanted to recreate that. It's industrial like HVAC ducting. It's on the back of that thing with guys sitting on the back of it playing drums, and he's on the front with a bunch of speakers playing his guitar. So I crafted the ducts out of paper, and then I'm cutting the pieces out of extra pieces of orc terrain, and then I'll glue it all together to make the duct.
I assume it's like thick paper, like cardstock type.
Yeah, it's like cardstock paper. So it's going to take some work to try to get that all fit together, but I think the concept works.
Yeah, it's cool.
So I went to Pegasus Hobbies, which is, for those of you who, it's a place down in Southern California. Around the country, they have these stores called Hobbytown USA, which is basically gamer nirvana. You know, it's crazy. I went there with my dad, and my dad's like, I can't imagine the rent for this place. I mean, the whole, it's like this huge warehouse size place. And the left side was all RC cars and planes and helicopters. And the other side is all, railroad stuff and models. And
That's what D&J Hobby used to be.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's an amazing place. So my problem with that place is kind of like Costco.
Yeah.
It's hard to go in there and not spend 2 hours and walk out. I actually walked out spending less than $15.
Incredible.
Which is crazy. But when I got there, I was looking for different types of plastic card, and then I just decided to use the orc terrain because I have a ton of orc terrain because of the project from last year. But I bought metal rods that I can use to put into the trucks so that I can put breaker boys hanging on the tops of the rods.
Like those guys
That's
that
awesome.
would swing back and
Right,
forth on the
swing back
poles.
and forth.
That's a cool idea too.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that.
Just don't glue them in because you got to transport those.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have a little platform on the back, and I have a small speaker that uses a micro SD card. So I have downloaded music from Fury Road onto that.
Nice, dude. That's cool.
So it's going to be pretty cool.
That's very cool. And you know what? And I said this to you off mic, but also very cool to be like hobbying with your son.
Yeah.
There. I mean,
well, and he plays Tau and Space Marines. His wife plays orcs, but mostly Beast Boys style of orcs.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a foreign concept. I mean,
no. But I mean, it's nice to
Yes.
be around family and do like I've enjoyed assembling and painting stuff with Shell. You know, it's just
it's
very
fantastic.
pleasant.
Yeah, it was really fun. And so because his wife had to work while she was visiting,
right.
so she's on her laptop working, and so he and I got to hang out and model and stuff. It was fantastic.
Nice.
Very cool.
And so the paint scheme. So the reason I just I didn't slop it on. I kind of did the green onto the orcs is that I don't need a lot of depth of color on the orcs because what I'm planning to do is kind of like a reverse slap chop. So I'm going to paint them green, like a very solid green, and then I'm going to dry brush like Xandri dust and a kind of an off-white, maybe Corax white, over the top of that. So it looks like the War Boys from the movie with the white paint on their bodies.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then I'll just put a little swath of black, dry brush some black across their foreheads, and then use the airbrush and squirt silver onto their mouths.
Some would say spray.
Sure. But it's just going to be a quick spurt or squirt.
Squirt spray.
Whatever. Cubicle 7.
Don't be mad at me because I have a wide vocabulary, right? And so I was talking about
I don't think you're using your airbrush right.
I
Do you have a compressor hooked up to it?
well, I did have to get Caleb to help me clean one of the brushes, but
I had to send one of mine to him to repair.
Yeah.
And he's like, your cone, like the nose cone, is like destroyed. I'm like, I don't know how.
Got dropped.
Must have been
I must
shell.
have dropped it.
You got to stop pounding the table with it to try and clear it.
Darn it!
Yeah. And then the display board, I was trying to figure out, how am I going to do the display board? And I taped out a 2x2 thing on a table so I could kind of figure out. And I basically cut out templates, paper templates of all the bases for the army, because with all those buggies, they all have those. It's like 70 by 120 millimeter bases. I'm like, how am I going to fit all these into a 2x2?
Yeah.
And so that was very helpful to have the paper templates and stuff like that. And I thought, man, how can I get like a Fury Road themed board? Because last year I did the aircraft carrier with the special printing and all that stuff.
You're a big fan of Crossing the Streams. Why don't you put like a Thunderdome?
But it would take too much room. That's the wrong
Don't
movie.
you?
That's the wrong
What,
movie.
is it?
Yes.
Is it, Adan?
It is. It's the wrong movie. But I was thinking about putting Bullet Town in there. But anyway, so I thought,
Maybe John Wick can make an appearance.
At least his dog.
So-
all joking aside, like this is an awesome project.
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
even like, I'm very excited to see it come to completion. I'm just teasing.
The display board, so the costume that I wanted to do, the cosplay, if you look at some of the imagery for Speed Freaks, one of the guys has like a piece of tire as his shoulder pad.
Why not?
Nice.
And my dad was like, well, driving down the freeway, you see these little scraps of tire all over the place. Maybe we can just like throw on the hazard lights and pull over and grab one. Or I just slow down and you can just open the door and grab one. I'm like, Dad, no.
Or you could just get some model car and cut the tire off.
Well, no, because it's got to be big enough to fit as my shoulder pad.
Oh, your personal shoulder pad,
yes.
not one of your models.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so I'm driving down the road, like looking to see if I can see pieces of tire.
Or you could just go to a tire shop.
Yeah,
where they're
get
like,
an
"We got
old
these old
crappy
tires."
Yeah, but the difference is the ones that are like blown up on the side of the road, they actually have like straggling pieces of
They get shredded.
wires that they're shredded. Right.
Nothing an X-Acto blade can't do.
And so I'm driving down the road
Dremel.
and I see this bicycle tire,
Yeah.
a 26-inch bicycle tire, just the tire out there. I'm like, what the heck? And so I stopped and grabbed it. And I thought, display board. That'll be the border of my display board. And so I think it's going to be cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don's
and
bringing literal garbage. To
well, most of my play is garbage.
Again,
So.
I'm mostly teasing. It's a cool idea, actually. Conceptually, it is actually a very cool idea.
And I assemble 1,000 points of conquest. So yeah, that's me.
And I asked you about this conquest because I'm
Yes.
like, why are you picking up another game? And the reason I ask you that specifically, Adan, is because you have a problem.
I don't have a problem.
Sure.
I have a hobby.
Okay. You have, I have been, we did a bring and buy. You remember we did years ago, we did a
Yep.
bring and buy. Everybody brought stuff. We had like 10 of us. We all brought stuff that we wanted to get rid of.
Right.
We kind of traded with
Right.
each other, sold a few things off.
Yep.
And then at the end of that, Adan pretty much filled up
Just
the
took
dumpster
everything.
out back with everything that he didn't sell. And I was
Okay,
like,
that's not the whole story.
that's how I remember it.
But so that was the time when Warhammer Fantasy Battle had just died. This was like 10 years ago. And I was not a happy camper because I had already sold off my Bretonians for a song. And I was very upset because the all-mounted Chaos Cavalry army that I had for Fantasy Battle didn't really have an analog in Age of Sigmar. So I sold the entire army
Should have burned it.
I sold it to Justin for the cost of the IKEA boxes they were in.
Just too bad you
Like,
didn't keep them.
because they still have the price tag on it. They were $17.99 a piece.
The whole world's back.
And there was, I know,
And it's fantastic.
You sound like Blake. I did everything right.
Justin has a pretty sweet Chaos Knight army now.
he does. He's already rebased it for, yeah.
Of course he is.
Cost him about $35.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. So what I threw into the dumpster
Yeah.
was old Mech Warrior click stuff.
Oh, that's right.
And Mage Knight click stuff that's just, there's no game for it anymore.
That's right.
I gave a bunch of it to Justin for his kid as
Right,
like
that's
toys.
right, that's right.
Just as toys. And then I just dumped the rest in the back and people stood there and cried as I was dumping out game stuff. But
Yeah.
But what-
it was dead stuff
yeah,
basically.
I get you. I get you.
But I do play a lot of different game systems.
Yeah,
I
you
have
do.
I have a lot of different game
All
systems.
right. Okay.
I got to do one quick call out and then we'll get back on task here. But from Games Workshop standpoint, Adan is buying Necromunda models, which makes me very happy with that Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler supporting the Ash Waste.
Yeah.
And then you're collecting trash off the side of the road. So you are a Necromunda
You're
player.
performing.
That's right.
You're performing a service.
I actually have a whole Redemptionist army.
and you know what's even better? Like Games Workshop's now accepting sprues as recycle.
Yes. Yes.
So-
You go dumpster dive there too.
you mean again?
Wait a minute. He worked at GW.
I know.
After the doors closed, they just went through there pulling anything that
got
had a
so
bid on it
excited.
out of there.
They're like, why does the Dawn store never have any spruce for recycling? Why is yours the only recycling bin that's empty?
So the reality is we had to get a second box. I filled the first one myself.
I'm not shocked. But, honestly, any of us here could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was saving all the sprues because I was going to do
Pot
like a
kettle black
I was
right
going to
here.
do a sprue terrain table,
of course you were.
like Loopy had done.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Loopy had done. I was like, oh, that's brilliant. But I'm not as talented as he is. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to dump these.
And you're also not going to take all the effort that he took to build that thing. That thing was nuts.
It
a
was.
lot, yeah.
And then
All right.
he made trophies for the event out of them
Skye.
too.
So July was a little light for me because we went on vacation, but the
Yeah, you
Saturn
did.
9 box came out, which I'm super excited about. I am normally not a big fan of ugly models, but the Saturn 9 models to me,
They speak to you.
I don't know. I think it's because they were painted as Iron Warriors and that's my jam. So, also,
it's for me, it just doesn't do it. Like, it's very rare that I like that
The Dreadnought
GW
is
models come out.
fantastic.
The Dreadnought,
The
looks
Dreadnought's
cool,
awesome.
Yeah.
but it's rare that GW models come out that I'm just like, do not like.
All
Like,
196 pieces.
There's Rumpelstiltskin guy from the AdMech. There's
He's awesome.
what about the
terrible.
Space Marine guys with the guns, the giant, what are the
whatever those-
spoilers? Is that what they're called?
I don't remember what
The
they're.
what?
Oh, the Desolation Marines.
Desolations. Despoilers is 2 chaos.
They're meh, whatever. I don't hate them, but I'm also not like a fan. And the corn lawnmower guy, like I'm just like,
Oh, you were talking about that on the red.
yeah. I mean, these are the things like that just never resonate. The Saturnine Terminators are up there with me.
Seeing
Like,
them painted,
don't like them.
They're pretty
Yeah.
good.
Do not build them the way the
Some really-
instructions
yeah.
tell you to build them.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because the way that the instructions say you're supposed to put on this little tiny connection point first. GW actually
For the
did
shoulders?
Oh, yeah.
GW actually did a guide on how to build them, and it's different than the instructions.
Yeah. You can cut the little nub and pose them. If you don't, they just stand there like completely rigid. But
Yeah, I'm just not a fan. It's like, and I mean, it's cool that people like them. I'm just like, yeah,
I'm
this
not a
is
fan of the
for me.
Terminators either.
when they first came out, I was not a fan, and then I was like, "There's something weird." And then
That happens to me sometimes. Though.
but then Dan posted a picture. He was painting him at one of
Dan
the
Osborne?
GW events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the angle of the camera made a huge difference. And then all the influencers painted the Praetor.
I saw
And that
Collins.
Praetor is so
Yeah,
cool.
it's a good
It's
looking model.
such a
Do you
good
remember
model.
the Beastigore when it came out from Age of Sigmar? The box art made that thing look ridiculous. But when you looked at it painted,
Sometimes when you see it in person,
Differently.
it's
Yeah.
a whole new,
Yep.
it's a whole new, it's a whole new experience. These for me have not done.
Yeah.
It's just the one thing. You know, it's fine.
It's all right. You can be wrong.
No, that's fine. Look, I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
I also started on work. So last 2 years for Adepticon, I've played AT-18 team battles.
Yeah.
And I've brought my 2 Reaver close combat gentlemen called Leroy and Jenkins. And
do you play them that way?
I play them that way.
absolutely.
Yep. I yell Leroy Jenkins as they charge right at you, and they die, and then you die, or you die and then they die. It's the same thing. Doesn't really matter.
Just as much fun either way.
3-3-3 repeating.
Yep. So I'm gonna convert those guys. I've got some pieces to make them pretty cool because they were fully magnetized Reavers before with just 2 weapons, and so
Right.
I'm like, well, I've brought them 2 years in a row. I'm not gonna stop bringing them, so they deserve their own models.
You need to 3D print some small chickens to put on there.
So Craig, who I always do the Titans with,
Yeah.
his is the like chicken legion. I don't know what they're called, but all of his stuff is
The Chicken Legion?
There's a chicken legion. I don't know. I don't know. All of his stuff is like chicken in Latin and like angry chicken, and he's painting like
The bok
feathers
bok
on
in
his. I don't know. They're it's
So
the angry chicken legion.
It's something he made up.
No, it's like an official. I don't know what it's called. Though.
I don't know the Legio name. But
Is it
There-
Adeptus Titanicus?
Yeah, it's an Adeptus
yeah.
Titanicus. I mean, you've seen his models.
Yeah.
He's painting a warhound right
Legio
now.
KFC. What is
The chicken is a noble creature.
Yeah.
I will have you know.
I mean, the French
And it tastes fantastic.
the French soccer team, right? They're the Red Cocks. So, it is what it is. But yeah, so Leroy and Jenkins, and then
Of course the French are.
he's got a warhound that
Yeah.
he's painting up with
Nice.
really awesome feathers on it and stuff. He's also a Golden Demon winner. So,
He's just name dropping all over the place, isn't he?
We know a lot of people like
I
this.
know.
oh man.
I know
so
some talented lads.
I was on a Discord conversation with just those two, Ivan and Craig, and they're sending pictures back of their work in progress.
Yeah.
And you know that SNL
Gross.
skip where they're like, where it's the I'm Peggy, blah, blah. And then the lady comes out with the crazy fingers and do you know that SNL skit?
No.
Anyway, sorry.
Do people still watch that?
I see the shorts.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, other stuff I'm working on, finishing up Old World Dwarves. I've been working really hard on my 40K Combat Patrol and 1500 point list because my son's gotten really into 40K.
Nice.
So,
You're coming over Saturday.
coming over Saturday for his birthday. He chose that over the boardwalk. So,
Love it.
my nerd dad heart is
Good kid.
pretty excited about
Swollen.
that. Yeah. And a
done
Ballistus
good.
Dreadnought. So, yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Nice, dude. Nice. All right. We're almost an hour into this.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Fury Road is a great movie.
10 years old. Did you know that?
Let's go games played.
Same as Age of Sigmar.
We're going to go games played. I'm going to speed this along because I played no games in the last 2 weeks.
Woo.
So, okay. Moving on. Josh,
Yeah.
let's all abbreviate our in-depth discussion.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to keep this tight. So I played 2 games of the old world down in the desert.
Yeah, you did.
Tom talked about these briefly, but me and Blake played, it was a 2,000 point game. My vampire counts against Blake's Chaos Army there. Had a fantastic game. Ended up being very one-sided, but a great game in my favor. And then we had the castle siege assault that Tom talked about a little bit
That
in the
looked
last
amazing.
episode, which was a 12,000 plus point game of the old world assaulting a castle.
So round 2, game over.
No, so we were getting a turn done in an hour.
Oh, that's incredible.
Which
Yeah.
with a bunch of veteran gamers, like we're like, what
Achievable.
What are you in charge of? What's in your area? Like we can jump ahead of the phases
Right,
to
yeah.
keep the game flowing,
smart.
which worked out really well. And then Tom had the fun element of chaos with the extra army that came on there, which probably put us to about 14,000 points of that army kind of being flip flopping and going either way with the whims of the chaos gods for where their allegiances lay. Super fun event, super fun game. Most of us, me and Travis, at least, like vampire counts, just do not have siege equipment. It is not an option in their Legends compendium. So we won the first round of games, so we got to choose to be attacker or defender. We should have chosen to be defenders because
Considering
we did not have the means to take down a
can't just
castle.
turn into
But
bats and fly inside.
I tried, but yeah, super fun game. And it was just a really, really great time. Good hang down there. And then the other thing that all my games went into is for the Westermunda event. So this is an event up in Washington that a bunch of us traveled from across the United States to gather in Washington for a Western themed Necromunda weekend.
Campbell and I were the only 2 that couldn't make it.
One other guy was supposed to come from Georgia, but he got sick a couple days leading up to. So
Listed in the in memoriam section.
yeah,
Yeah.
they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys. We assigned you fun Western diseases. I believe. I believe you died of dysentery. Nice,
Like every Oregon Trail. game.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's heavily themed. We're going to go into a lot of detail about the specific games in the Patreon episode that we do next, but we the brief overview is that we gathered, we played a ton of games, whether it was one-on-one games or big group games using like a Juve brawl was a bar fight. So it's like 6 of us having you get one Juve, go have a bar fight.
That's awesome.
You can use bottles, you can use barrels,
That's
you can
amazing.
like chairs. It was incredibly fun. Peter and Ken did an absolutely fantastic job of putting this document together, which again we'll talk about in a lot more detail in the Patreon episode. But each table was set up for a specific mission. These missions are based upon rulebook, like core rulebook missions, but then they have done subtle modifications to them to westernize them.
Sure.
It's great.
Like some of the highlights for me are me and Ken played a game. Ken was playing Caldor, I was playing Enforcers, and we had tumbleweeds that are rolling through town here. We caught every single tumbleweed on this board on fire. So these tumbleweeds potentially knock you over and then potentially catch you on fire, because they are flaming tumbleweeds. So it's just a bunch of really, really fun stuff like that.
That's hilarious.
The brief overview of the weekend was that we were not playing a campaign. So it was 1,200 point skirmish gangs and then Ash Waste on top of that. So vehicles, and then the Jew fight was its own separate.
So you didn't have to worry about buying equipment and all that kind of stuff.
No progression at all. The only thing that we did is anybody went out of action, you'd roll to see what fun Western disease they inherited. So they would have a pretty easy to track penalty going into future games. What you would win if you won your game was you would win penicillin, so you could you would cure a disease from one of your fighters. So it really super thematic. Everybody had the absolute right mentality. It was an amazing time, and I played about 12 games that we'll talk to.
Did you wear a cowboy hat?
I did not wear a cowboy hat, but I did 3D print a bunch of cowboy hats for my Enforcers.
There you go.
I was the law. So
what about your check? A shirt you were going to wear?
So I bought a Western themed octopus shirt, but it was
too small,
made for somebody who does not have arms. It is
not 8 arms,
not actual like sized arms for the size of the shirt that it was. It is an extra large shirt.
Should cut the sleeves off like Justin.
You adjust it, yeah.
Exactly. I gave the shirt to Peter, and he rocked it all weekend.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Absolutely fantastic.
Peter's success.
Yeah, like
that gang of guys is just great.
It's the perfect group for it. You and Campbell were missed, but it was actually
I wanted to go.
It was such a good time.
The Inglesteins did a board game where it's a bar fight and you can pick up chairs and jump over tables and stuff like that.
Yeah. So there was throwing tin cups at people, breaking bottles off, rolling barrels into the fire so that they the hooch barrels would blow up. And it was just super thematic, super fun, and really, really well done. And you guys will hear a lot more about that.
It's like the fight scene in The Assassin's Bodyguard.
Yeah. It's like the John Wick bar just breaks out. And some amazingly fun highlights that I'll go into a lot more detail.
Nice. All right, Adan, what have you been playing? A lot. I've been seeing you post online.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot. And so moved some stuff up north. I got to play a game on the in-game table.
Just to be clear, you're moving from Southern California to
Northern California.
So you're starting to move things back. Okay.
Right. So I got to play with Anthony and his son, Des. We played Admech versus Aldari because I wasn't doing the Fury Road thing yet. And that was the army I had brought north.
Admech. You were playing Admech.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically a bunch of big robots. It's all robots and
the
guys on little tracks, cataphrons.
Yeah.
And then I played against Taryn Elmstedt. So Taryn Elmstedt, he's a high school teacher and he's also a debate coach. And they go to nationals all the time or state championships. He's really good at what he does. And Taryn and I were actually the first two people to play a 40K game at the Warhammer Cafe before I worked there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we have that distinction.
Yeah.
But I also talked to him about, going back on the show and getting some ideas about how do I make sure I don't sit there while I'm looking at the screen going, that kind of stuff. And just, and he was kind of coaching me about, okay, think before you open your mouth. It's like, well, my dad's been telling me that for 60 years.
Still hasn't stuck.
No, didn't. So I played against him and he brought Speed Freaks specifically because I wanted to see how the army played and because I knew what the concept I was going to be doing. And so that was a great intro for me.
Nice.
And it's always fun playing with Taryn. So I'm actually going to be playing with him again later this weekend.
Very cool.
Ethan, Oscar, and Sean and I all played a team game at a really cool store in Burbank called Geeky Tees and Games. They sell all these gamer-themed tees, loose leaf tees. And just about any kind of geek IP you can think of, they've got a tee named for it. And of course they have, Earl Grey hot. You can't you can't do it iced. And so we played a game. It was Death Guard and Night Lords versus Death Watch and Admech. So I was playing the Admech. And the Night Lords I talked about last time with the guy with the hook who pulls the souls out of the bodies and they become the...
That's right.
It's a cool idea.
It's such a cool army.
Looks
and
cool.
then he also did a really cool video of the army, but he's not on social media, so couldn't post that. And then I played with my buddy Kyle at Darkside Games in Duarte. Again, AdMech versus Speed Freaks. This time I had the Speed Freaks. He had the AdMech. And we used the Leviathan deck because we didn't have any of the newer decks with us. But it was very informative for me to kind of try out the different units and things like that. Originally, I was running mechs with my Breaker Boys because I had so many vehicles on the table. I was like, oh, it would be good to have a mech nearby, right? It was really bad because the Breaker Boys don't have an invuln save. They don't have a feel no pain or anything. So if they get caught out in the open, you might as well just pick them up off the table because they're a priority target, because if they charge a vehicle, that vehicle is probably going to go away.
Right.
So I changed the list and actually put a pain boy in with them because that gives them the feel no pain.
5+, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he can also bring somebody back.
Are you modeling blood bags
That's a good idea.
for your feel no pains? Blood
'Cause
bags.
they have the blood bags with the blood going into the...
You've seen Fury Road, right?
I don't know if you know, there's this guy called the Doof Warrior, and he has
think
like
it
a
came out about
guitar
10
that shoots
years ago.
fire.
That I like
The blood
that.
bags as for your feel no pain. Right?
You know what? It's not going to be a priority part of the thing, but I am definitely going to do it. Yeah, it was 10 years ago, just like Age of Sigmar. And then I played against Sean back at Geeky Teas and Games. It was Cult of Speed versus the Night Lords, 2,000 point game. We played an asymmetric mission, and I had played an asymmetric mission with him before, back on July 4th. I talked about that last episode. And I was using the current iteration of my list, which gave me a better, I'm starting to get kind of the feel of it.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I'd heard anybody use the term jail army. I'd never seen that before.
Either.
And I was talking to a couple different people about it. Oh yeah, jail, it's a jail army. It holds your opponent in jail. I'm like, okay, so this is something I have, because I don't read competitive stuff. I don't play it. So I've never really seen the jargon that goes along with it. So apparently that's a thing. It's a jail army.
Sure. I'll believe it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
And so-
Dan and Campbell have talked about this on the Badcast a couple of times, and it's mostly just horde armies that are just locking you down. And
Right.
Like just
Well,
so
and
many
the speed
bodies that
freaks
you
are
can't
easy to
kill
do
for
that because they can advance and charge and all that stuff. So the other thing, my key moment from that game, so at the cafe, when things were like super slow, we used to play this game. You roll one die till you get a 1, then you roll 2 dice till you get 2 2s, then you roll 3 dice till you get 3 3s. I never got past the 4s. Well, in this game, I needed to roll 5 up, feel no pains. I rolled 6.
I saw this picture.
6 up, feel no pains. 6 6s.
Yeah.
And so after 4 years, I won the dice game.
Then you got sucked down a wormhole.
Yes, yes. And it was pretty amazing. It was
cool.
Yeah. Played a game with Russ Peterson at Shuffle and Cut Games in Brea.
Jesus, how many game stores?
There's a lot of game stores down there. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. And this was my Cult of Speed versus his Space Marines.
Why do you want to move back to this area? There's so many game stores.
Because there's hair games and hobbies.
That's right. And you get a 50% off discount if you're a patron. So
Another
he has
5%.
Another
5%.
Another
On top
5%
of that.
if you're a patron, right? And you can go to independentcharacters.com. Yeah. He plays an Imperial Fists successor chapter called the Granite Fists. So that was, again, we played an asymmetric mission. It was my second time playing a 2,000 point game with the list I think is going to be the list going forward.
Nice.
And both those games, I was feeling pretty good. The game against Sean, we actually ended up at a dead heat 34-34 tie. And then the game with Russ, I just got so far ahead. He had the Challenger cards he was doing out of that deck and everything, and he just
Couldn't make it work.
yeah. And it was really weird because at the last turn when he was like, "There's no way I can catch up," I had 2 units that were about 3 inches or less from his units, and if I charged, I might not have won. So I had these orcs who were just standing there like the butcher's nails, right? "Argh!" And I actually didn't charge with them.
It's not very in character.
No, but I won the game.
That's not very orky.
Winning is a theme. So it was a good practice for me with the Cult of Speed, starting to learn some of the things, some of the
No, I think that's
process.
great to get a bunch of practice in with that. It's going to make you more comfortable with it and faster with it.
And with going back to the Fury Road thing, which is a cool movie.
It came out about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
right?
The Boom Daka Snazwagon. If you look up the Boom Daka Snazwagon model, there is a grot attached to the front of it with a metal grill on his face.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Perfect.
I've seen that before somewhere.
It's almost like it was inspired by something.
Yeah, and it was the reason this came up is because I said, "Oh, it's very obvious that George Miller's a Warhammer fan because that's like right out of the movie." And that's when Russ said, that movie is 10 years old.
You
This
might have
novel
that
came out in 21. Yeah, I kind of had that backwards. Like, okay, so, but
just
GW
like-
doesn't have any history about borrowing
Just like how
IP.
Warhammer 40K ripped off StarCraft.
Yeah. That's what I've always heard.
Obviously.
Zergar clearly turned in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me.
Okay. Skye. Bring us home.
Yeah. So this past weekend, I did a really cool birthday game. There's this in 8th edition fantasy, there's this mode called Triumph and Chetry, which is a multiplayer game, which has semi-random activations and cards that just make everyone feel bad.
Right.
But it's actually really fun because you're like playing them with
everybody
other
feels
people.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. We played for like 4 or 5 hours, and lots of people were drinking and making everyone just angry at
Beer Hammer's the best.
yeah, it was great. So that was super fun. Did my first 40K game in a while here, actually, with Aaron and the Red Wolf was my partner. Oh, yeah,
Who plays Blood Angels?
yeah, and we totally
callback.
rocked Aaron and my son. Like, yeah, it was fun. it was pretty fun. No,
Wow.
but it was asymmetric. The only 40K games I've been playing lately are asymmetric, and I'm finding them really, really fun.
They are. They're really fun.
I think it immediately puts me in the like, it doesn't matter who wins. This is a game about having fun.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and that game was super fun because I've only played 2 or 3 games before, and only one Combat Patrol with my son. That was the first full game that I played with him. So super cool. 1 round of Adeptus Titanicus, best game GW makes. And then an indie game called Hobgoblin, which is super fun. It's by the same guy that does Gaslands. And
Oh, Gaslands. Okay.
yeah, and Mike, can't remember his last name.
Mike Gaslands.
Yeah, Mike Gaslands.
Gasland.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hangs out with Tim Apple.
Right.
The cool thing about it is it's both scale
Mark
and
Facebook.
it's scale and miniature agnostic, which is
Yeah.
really fun. It's still a rank and flank game, but it's super chill. It's sort of like a beer and pretzels version of Warhammer Fantasy.
Nice.
Okay.
Which is cool because I like rank and flank, but sometimes I don't like the crunchiness of
Yes.
fantasy. Like we've been having a conversation on one of the Discords about like, yeah, you don't necessarily play fantasy because the rules are amazing. There's a lot of
it's a
There's a lot of
nostalgia hit.
nostalgia thing.
yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia.
Don't get me started. Yeah.
But Hobgoblin's really fun. It goes really quick. We played at 10 millimeter. I've always wanted to play 10 millimeter fantasy, and it was interesting to play a rank and a flank that wasn't Warhammer because I've never done that.
I'd be interested because I've played Gaslands with
Yeah.
my son, and so I'd be interested to see how they do that system because Gaslands was a blast.
Yeah. It's like one layer above Gaslands. Like Gaslands is super like, hey, just chill, like
Right.
run over the guy with your thing.
Right.
This is like one layer more of tactical. And it's got a cool activation system where you do your whole phase and then the other guy does his whole phase and then you do the next phase, which I think solves one of the problems in Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer in general, right? Where it's like you do
go,
the whole
I go.
thing and I just die. And then everything dies at the end of the full game turn.
So like Imperialis.
A little bit, yeah, but the alternating activation, I think alternating.
sure, that part of it, yeah.
And I think it's cool because if you're alternating activating units in a rank and flank game, it'd be rough, right? Because you would charge and then suddenly your flank would be exposed and
Right.
someone would charge.
Right. Yeah.
So the fact you do the whole phase is pretty cool.
But you don't get the punishment or
Yeah.
the thing until the end of the
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And then very much like Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Right.
And then both of us die, and it's like, oh, okay, in the next game. So there's some really cool things in it. And like I said, it's super quick. My buddy printed up and painted 2 armies in like a week at 10 millimeter. So
Is this one of the Golden Demon winners?
no,
That's
Oh,
a
he
different
did play.
Gordon Demon winner.
This is the Crystal Cast winner.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a short break. We'll come back after a good hour and 10 minutes. We'll come back and we'll actually get into the meat of the show, the Warrior Lodge. So we will be right back. Here we go. All right. Welcome back. And we're going to go right into the main topic of the show, the Warrior Lodge. We have several questions here. We'll go through these questions. We'll hear everybody's responses to each of these. Then we'll take a break. We'll come back, do another set of questions. Then we'll end the show. So this first question or statement that leads to a question really comes about because the situation, Skye, you found yourself in. And I gave a lot of thought to this, and I even talked about it previously on the show. But this is really about how rumors and leaks damage Games Workshop product releases and can impact independent retailers. Not just impact Games Workshop, which, you know, there's all these rumors about, oh, they leak these pictures.
Right.
My feeling on that is they don't.
No.
They have to respond quickly when those things happen. And I'm aware of this because I know personally friends there who, like, a leak happens and then the Inquisition basically comes through trying to figure out where the leak came from. So
as a former GW employee,
yeah, I'll bet. So ahead of
reason for that,
ahead of its official launch, Warhammer the Horse Heresy 3.0, which was a major rules update, was leaked as part of the marketing campaign. Like updates were leaked, but then there was an actual leak. So
the full rule book.
Yeah. The leak triggered intense debate over spoilers, copyright enforcement, and perceived inconsistencies in Games Workshop's marketing control, as well as what do they share and what don't they share. And often, you know, actually we heard people say GW outright lies to us. Mm-hmm. I don't know that is or is not the truth. As we discussed in a recent episode, this kind of thing impacts stores like Herrick Games. And we have Skye here from Herrick Games. So your opinion might be a little biased here, but I think it's an important one to hear. And you are almost collateral damage in this kind of thing, where you have taken pre-orders, purchased those pre-orders from Games Workshop to meet the requests of your customers. But in this case, customers bailed out in significant quantities.
Yeah.
And left you holding the bag. Now, some might say, well, this is your fault as an independent retailer. You shouldn't have put yourself at risk. Some may say, hey, well, this is Games Workshop's fault because some may say, hey, this is the leaker's fault. I really want to know where you guys kind of think about this. It's a multifaceted problem, really. And so what are your kind of thoughts and your experience with this? And let's start with Skye, since you were like really the target or the collateral damage of this explosion.
Yeah. It's it's complex. And first of all, I want to say I was my day job is as a marketer, and the horse hearsay, the stuff that they launched ahead of the time was like awesome. It was a great masterclass. Like linked the D20 and, you know, all this stuff. It was clear they had a really good plan for it, right? And they really thought about it. They did a lot of videos, and I was impressed by it, to be honest. I
was surprised that they went to that level of work. Yeah.
It was really cool. And actually, I have to say, again, as a marketer, this is not me as a fanboy or as an independent store owner. Their marketing department has been killing it for the last couple of years, which is what leads to a lot of the other problems. Is their marketing department is doing a really good job. In this case specifically, what happens as an independent retailer, we find out what is on order that week the same time as everyone else, 10 a.m. PST on Sunday, Warhammer community. A couple hours later, they send us the price list and they say, tell us in 2 days how many you want. And you don't know if you're going to get all of those.
Right.
Often you don't.
Often, most of the time you don't. Right. And it's
the retail stores don't always get them.
Yeah. And you can't accept any money. That would be a breach of contract. You can't do anything that actually like holds your customers accountable, right? It's a gentleman's handshake essentially with your customers. And as you grow, you try to have more of that available because you're trying to support the community. You're trying to obviously grow your business,
right?
And you get in these instances where you're taking on a significant financial risk. So, like I'm fine sharing. I paid $60,000 on Tuesday for the Horus Heresy set, and the cash flow for that, I have to have that within 45 days.
Yeah.
So what happened was I did that on Tuesday. I was perfectly fine with it. To be honest, the July release is like my Black Friday. You know, it's like, all right, I look forward to it all year. It's the point where I'm like, all right, I got the money. I can invest in stuff. Nobody opens a hobby store to get rich. I did it. I was like, I can finally buy some tables that aren't covered in paint, you know, and do some fun stuff there. And then Thursday, the full rules leak, which again is not a huge thing, right? That often leaks right before.
Yeah.
But what happened was the people that leaked it then went super negative. And I'm not saying that there weren't things to dislike about the launch, right? It was a complete change. There's a lot of big changes about Horus Heresy.
And it became a feeding frenzy.
Yeah. And see, that's what happened. So Thursday they release, all of the creators and the influencers and the playtesters are under NDA until Saturday when it actually drops. So they can't say anything. Everyone's asking, what do you think? There's a big blow
And they
up
have to be quiet.
They can't say anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And it got really personal. Like some of the real Horus Heresy creators, like the guy who runs SNR Battle Reports out of Gibraltar, like those amazing things. Like there was a whole horrible thing, like attacking him personally, attacking his family.
Because SNN.
SNN.
Yeah.
It's like SNN reports. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Cubicle 7.
That's what I was going to say.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
And I think and the thing is we also see it like with other releases. I can distinctly remember when Death Guard dropped for 10th edition in the Death Guard Facebook group, everyone was going nuts, or even 8th edition, or like when they killed off 8th edition, right? People burning armies and stuff. It's like, there's this overreaction. This time though, what happened was I typically have 6 to 8% of people not pay, which is fine, right?
Like they drop out of.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I lost
And just
my
to clarify,
job.
it was 6 to 8.
6 to 8%, right? And I have that like built into my ordering.
Right.
I expect it, right? So stuff happens, life happens. It's totally fine. I had 60% of people drop out.
Yeah.
And so suddenly, not only was I not going to get my payback, but it was a significant financial burden that we had to work a lot through, and got some help from you guys talking about gift cards and stuff that we offered, and we're good now. But the thing that
had to startle you a bit.
That weekend sucked.
Yeah.
Because I went from like literally it's the best weekend at the store, and I'm like
To the worst weekend at the
to the
store.
worst. Yeah. And like I posted on Facebook, my personal Facebook, just being like, I don't know if this is worth it, guys. Like I put all this effort in for 5 or 6 years. I'm not making money. Like I'm doing it because I like it and it's fun and it's enjoyable. Providing a game space up in the middle of nowhere.
And you're learning a bit about running a business.
And
well, here's the lesson.
Yeah. Here's and I was not going to ask for charity. Like I made a business decision. I was not going to ask anyone to bail me out. Right. I wanted to do this in the way that you need to. So I was like, all right, I need to take out a loan for the first time, whatever. We got solved. But we just, in the hobby, there's people that just like overreact and just immediately go negative. And
Sounds weird.
I mean, the internet in general.
Never noticed that on the internet.
And so it's like the interneted. And like, I remember people being like, oh, let's stick it to Games Workshop. Right.
Yeah.
And you're not sticking it to Games Workshop. If their box sets
they
don't
made
sell,
their money. They sold it to you.
Yeah. They sold it to all the independent retailers. Guess what? They don't sell it. They'll give it away in the Adepticon VIP box, or they'll just grind it up, because at that point it costs them $5 to make the box sets. Right. And so that was the part where I was
A little more than 5, but yeah.
I know
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's not nearly as much.
Costs more to ship than it does to manufacture.
That's right.
Yeah. And so that was the part. And then the other piece, I think, is the fact that there are so many people that were excited about this, right? Like I have not played Horus Heresy before, and I was super excited about Horus Heresy 3.0 because I was like, oh, I like the army building finally made sense to me because it's like pulled directly from LI. And I've been painting the models in Metter's paint classes at my store, and I've really enjoyed what I've been doing with Iron Wars. And so I was like super excited. And then suddenly there's all these people just raining on the parade, like making it, just personal for other people. I'm like, guys, it's plastic soldiers, like take a chill pill.
Right.
And the other thing is, as someone who's been playing 8th edition fantasy for years, I know there's a lot of fun in playing a dead game. And a lot of people are like, hey, I'm going to play 2.0. That's completely fine.
Go for it.
Don't yuck on someone else's yum. If they want to play 3.0, that's fine.
Yep.
So it was weird to like have all of that happening at the same time and to truly be that collateral damage. And I think the other thing is we saw a lot of the things people were complaining about, as GW said they would, come out later in PDFs, right? And personally, this is my personal opinion, I don't believe anyone who's like, GW did this in response to the community outcry. You don't put out a 200-page PDF in 2 weeks. You just don't. It was all already there. They were ready for it. Like
it's probably formatting and cleaning it up.
And they play the game too. They want to play with their models, and we see this. So anyway, I've been talking for a while, but that was my experience during this.
So in summary, you would say what? Like if you had to sum that up in a sentence or two.
Internet bad.
Internet bad. I think try and find the positive Weight, I think a lot. We see it a lot with leaks, right?
We
People
do.
will be like, "Oh, this one rule completely hamstrings my army." Like, but
You don't have any context
yeah,
for it.
you don't have anything else. How many times have we seen one rule that sucks in isolation, and then the rest of the rule book is like, "Oh, that's actually the coolest thing about them."
Yeah.
Right. So just wait, make up your mind, and then I think be aware, like your local store, our margins suck. like if you say you're going to do something, emergencies happen, but like realize that person has money on the line for you to do that. And so just follow through. Right?
Adan, you came from a GW store.
Yeah.
Right. And that was also helping out with Endgame before that.
Yeah. I mean, what was, were you there when this dropped? You had left just before this
Just
dropped.
as this was happening. I was leaving just as this was all going
I'd
on.
be very curious to know, like, internally, like, what did their orders to,
what I have in my personal notes here is in capital letters, bold, hate. I hate the way that this snowballs. And Skye is exactly right. We've seen this in other leaks where there's a partial leak and people go all gaga. And when I was running the store in Orange County, this happened a couple times with leaks and people came in, rah, 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 rah. I was like, hold up. You don't even play that army.
So why do you care?
Why do you care if somebody else's army is not going to do well? You should like that because you'll be more able to beat them. I mean, what is the deal? And it's some people just, the negative energy, they feed on it. And I don't know what it is. It's the interneting, as you were saying, but it's crazy how that happens. And at a big store like the cafe, you get the people walking in saying, "Oh yeah, you guys did this on purpose," and you get the conspiracy things kind of floating around and like,
what's your name? James? Oh yeah, we did it. You're on this list.
Yeah, right.
We did it specifically
for you. Yeah,
We heard you really like Death Guard. Screw you, James.
yeah. Exactly. And it's the other thing, funny thing is people come in and like, so, what's up with that? It's like, I don't find out about it before you do. And they're like, oh, sure.
That's interesting. Like that's a known fact at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
we know that.
absolutely. We don't know what's coming out until 10 a.m. Pacific
There
Standard Time
used
on
to be
Sunday.
a time where
You did.
store people would
Correct.
know ahead
Right.
of time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they
Not
put
anymore.
the kibosh on that. Yeah.
Not anymore. And even some independent retailers, they used to get the black box.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Endgame would get the black box and they would assemble
It
it,
was
in
the stuff
secret.
ahead of time.
Yeah.
And they could assemble it and then put it out the day
Right.
release. That's right.
Right.
I forgot about the black box.
Yeah. But that caused a ton of problems.
Sure.
So they stopped that.
Sure. Well, once
And-
they wanted to wrap their arms around the marketing and the control of how they release
And their marketing's been amazing. They have FOMO turned up to 12.
Yeah, it's almost too good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
Fortunately, I've broken my FOMO. Like,
Yeah, no,
like this stuff comes
I'm
out.
good.
This stuff comes out that it's like, oh look, there's this thing that you can put on your shelf. I'm like, no, I don't need it.
yeah.
I'm good. Oh yeah, but hey, you want to get Captain Centos? No, really.
Well, that's why, you see me during the week, marked safe from previews.
Yeah, I don't need any of that. Yeah.
That
So
special
no, I
collector's,
hate it. I mean, some people like it because, oh yeah, if it gets leaked, then the company will jump out and give you the real thing, like the Magnus coming out of the garbage can thing. It's like,
Okay, but
no,
you see it 2 days later.
You're totally messing up. Well, first of all, yes, Games Workshop's an international company, but it's not actually that many people.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
And so you're completely impacting their daily work. And so now that release that you wanted, it might be pushed back 2 or 3 weeks now because they were having to deal with this leak.
Actually, I was just listening to Louise Sugden talking on her Rogue Hobbies thing, and she was talking about how that one in particular, the release of Magnus, like all of a sudden, like people had to come in at like 11 o'clock at night and start figuring out, let's make a video and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's like they, so people, and then people would say, oh, well, clearly they leaked it because they had this video ready. She's
Right.
like, no, we had to work all night
Yeah.
to figure out how are we
that
going
was
to
in
show.
response.
Yeah.
It was funny as hell, though.
Yeah. It's a good video.
It was a good video.
Again, I think their communities team is killing it.
Yeah.
Like, I love the stuff they do.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. But you raise a good point, Skye, about their marketing team is almost too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think in general, though, they have the product to back up the good marketing. Is my point. And like I was talking to
even the Saturn IX Terminators.
I was talking to Jason Mullins. Yeah, even the Saturn IX Terminators. Like, look,
I'm kidding.
No. But I mean, it's a fair point. But I mean, like, I'm not the target audience for it, just because I don't care for them, and that's okay. Like, that's just an aesthetic thing. I can't like everything that they do, even though people I get accused of
I know.
it. But I was talking to Jason Mullins, who's running the Lost Legions podcast with Pete, and I was asking him because that's all 30K,
right?
And I was like, he had said, "Oh, we played our first couple of games." And I go, "So what do you think?" He goes, "Yeah, it's pretty cool." Like, you know, he was all on board.
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, there's a few things we had to figure out. And I'm sure we did a few things wrong, but once you play it and like you get it, it seems to all work out." And I'm like, "Oh, imagine that." Right. Josh?
Yeah. I completely missed this.
Because you were off in Westermunda.
I was in a totally different world. 30K has not been on my radar for about the last 8 years or so, since I sold off my 1,000 Suns for it. But so I'll keep this more general.
Yeah, this is more general.
But there are some interesting things, like people don't like change, and gamers really don't like change.
Yeah.
So when you have something coming out like that, there's going to be a reaction. People are going to escalate that. They're going to take it too far. It's going to blow up out of proportion. But the counter to that is we are not living in the 10 years of a Dark Elder Codex anymore. Like, Games Workshop wants a quality product out there. They are addressing issues in games immediately. Like, they are patching games as they are coming out. So if something is not resonating, they are going to address those issues.
Well, just the quarterly updates. I mean, what a great time we live in where they're doing quarterly updates and balancing and stuff.
But see previous comment about people don't like change. Gamers really don't like change. So it's too much change sometimes, but they are fixing problems that are out there.
Right.
So like give it a shot. Don't blow it up. Don't take it out of proportion
and don't get personal about it. Oh my, the personal stuff is just
attacking
ridiculous.
people. And then obviously, of course, remember that like your friendly local game shops are on the line for this stuff, and they are relying on this to keep their doors open.
This was I genuinely was upset for you, Skye. I mean, to be perfectly honest, and I was like, if you made a commitment to buy it, freaking buy it. I mean, like, exceptions happen, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my house burned down.
Yeah,
I can't.
A truck ran into your house.
Maybe I'm not going to spend some money on this. You know, I get that. Like you said, 6 to 8% margin. You know, your expectation of not following through. I don't know.
60 is a much larger number.
I feel like at the same time, I'm like, okay, so what can you do to insulate yourself as a friendly local game store? There's things you can do that you and I have talked a little bit about, and you'll settle on something. But I just feel like when people get bummed out, oh, my friendly local game store closed down, I'm like, I wonder why. You know? And it's like, it's not clearly because of this, but it's like, buy locally.
Well, it's like the miniatures gamers who get upset that all the tables are being taken up by Magic the Gathering. It's like, well, that's what's keeping the lights on, dude.
They're
their margin on GW is not keeping their lights on.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately.
The other thing with this release, I will say, is the negativity also obscured a lot of the really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's the real problem.
A lot of people talk about like the heyday of White Dwarf when they were doing conversions and they were like, oh, they were coming out with rules for models that didn't exist.
Right.
Horus Heresy's doing that. The Arcane Journals Arcane Journals, the old world version. It's campaign journal. I don't know what it's called. They say they're going to come out, like they previewed the Saturn IX Command Squad.
Right.
They have no interest in making that an actual model. But they have all the kit bashes in there. They're going to have rules.
Nice.
And that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Like that's what people wanted for the longest amount of time. And they just completely missed that
there's cool
things coming and they're trying something new and they're bringing it over from old world. Right. And I just like, that is so cool. And the first one was Istvan Drop Site 1. And it's really cool. It introduces these new models. They're not going to be everyone's thing, but it's also not, there's another complaint in 40K, right? Where people are like, I don't want to have to buy every codex. I don't want to spend $60. These things are $25. They're soft. They're little. You don't have to get it. It's just an added cool thing. And it's just, it was completely
you don't need it
over.
to play.
Yeah. Right. It's just cool, but it was like completely missed in the launch, you know? And so
this is one of the reasons I wish the Crusade books were soft cover, a little less expensive, because I love them. And I love the fact that they're giving you new stories and new settings and new agendas. but it's a little pricey.
I don't know that I'm getting $60 of value out of my Crusade.
Right.
decks
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just not playing enough of it.
So
yeah.
if I want them. If they were soft cover things with these settings and cool, because there's new missions in all of them.
But remember how we used to complain that things were soft cover, and then Privateer Press was putting out like hardcover books, and
But those were rule books, not supplements. Those were rule books, not supplements.
damned if you do, damned if you don't. Okay, which kind of leads me to my next question, which is, despite record profits, Games Workshop continues to face inventory challenges. The chapter-approved 2025-2026 mission deck, which is a key product for tournament play, sold out immediately upon release. And even highly anticipated releases like the Horse Heresy 3rd edition and Primarch models were out of stock shortly after the announcement. I guess Horus Heresy 3rd edition wasn't.
It sold out on the website, actually.
Yeah.
It took longer than normal, but it did. Yeah.
But
But
you
that's
could easily get a pack.
Well, Emperor's
I
Children.
know where you could get some.
Emperor's Children.
Emperor's Children's a perfect example.
I opened a couple minutes early because sometimes the shop kiosk will go online a little bit before 10.
Yeah.
And so I had a woman waiting in line. She got on there like 2 minutes before 10 o'clock. She got hers. The next person who stepped up at 10:03, they did not get it.
So, okay, perfect example. So, despite ongoing investment in IT infrastructure and a fourth factory near Nottingham, which has been derailed by, or the parking garage was derailed by the bat, demand remains
Lords.
ahead of supply.
Right.
Like, this has been going on a long time now. I'm all for, I think somebody had mentioned, hit the button that's like, hey, I'm interested in buying this. Let me know when it comes available, because it kind of sets in the queue. Like, here's the things we need to print.
It's one of the most direct ways to communicate to Games Workshop.
It's pretty
that
cool.
You are interested in a product that is out of stock.
But why is everything out of stock? I mean, for somebody that's getting new into the game and they're like, I want to play Emperor's Children, or I want to play Leagues of Wotan. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay,
I want a Land Raider.
I bought this. I want a Land Raider at this point. When I told Jeff how much Land Raiders go for right now, I'm like, you should find yours and sell it, dude. Like, how long is it going to continue? Is it intentional? Is it causing a frustration level for you specifically? I can give examples for me, but I'll let you guys go first. You've been building Eldar.
Yeah.
Any problems getting any Eldar?
No, I got it all at Herrick Games when it dropped immediately.
Did you get a discount on that?
I did get 15% plus a little extra.
Okay,
for the
this
family.
This might be getting excessive. We are literally making fun of it, not running an ad for Eric.
Legitimately, Skye Shop is amazing, and it's where I get all my stuff. And
it's nuts how much stock you have. I've said it every time.
Skye has an amazing stock at a great price, and I was able,
and friendly service.
And
well, let's not get over the top here. Come on,
and you get candy
per order.
A
sticker, a dum dum with every order. Like
and a lollipop.
Yeah, that's a dum dum.
That's the brand name. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
So I took advantage of the pre-order system that Skye has in place and got everything that I needed for my build. And I'd already, before the new models released, I'd already been, acquiring.
You were struggling to find for a while.
I had a hard time finding
it was the
Fire Prisms.
Fire Prism.
Prisms, yep. Yeah. They were hard to find.
Lycus was out for a while too.
I got Lycus immediately through pre-order. But I clicked Games Workshop's button, letting them know that I was interested in Fire Prisms. And then Skye actually got some in, I think the same day that I got the email from Games Workshop that they're back in stock. So I put an order in with him immediately. Being an older kit and being in high demand, there's definitely issues there. I'm pretty comfortable with my collection and what I'm working on. So it's less of an issue now, but I will say the Pariah Nexus deck took me 10 months to get my hands on it. Like, I missed that pre-order, and I could not get my hands on that until like 2 months before
It went away.
It wrote it.
the new deck had been released.
That is actually true.
Which is wild. Which is, like, it's fine. I was Todd from Table War gave me a set of his cards that he'd gotten from Tacoma Open, because Games Workshop at events will print it out a half of a deck for everybody to use. So you have every mission there. So like I had a workaround, but it would have been nice for home games to be like, hey, I've got a full deck. Like, I've got half. Here's a half for you to use also. There's workarounds for that, and I did find myself using the battle. Totally blanking on the name for this Tabletop Battles app.
Oh, right.
Goonhammer's Tabletop Battles app, because you can just do mission draw through that right there.
Yep.
And then use the card to reference. So even if 2 players didn't have them.
Right.
But I will say Games Workshop historically has always run short on paper products.
Yeah.
Always. This is nothing new.
They don't produce those.
They are
themselves.
not producing them in their plastic producing miniature factories.
Right.
They are produced out of house, and
Maybe out of country.
They are out of country.
They are.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's printed in China.
Terrain kits and paper products are largely in China. Some terrain kits are happening in Nottingham these days now. But
regardless, like AdMech, if I go to buy AdMech right now, half of that range is out of stock.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I know this because I was looking for some for maybe a Dark Mechanicum. Just components for a Dark Mechanic.
You say I've got a problem.
No, listen, it's only a problem. Look,
It's a hobby.
I'm a little itchy.
I don't think this is an intentional thing they're doing at all.
I don't think so either.
There is a supply and demand issue there. Partially because they, I think, have more games than they've ever been producing, and they continue to grow the model ranges, and they are, I think, prioritizing selling new kits and producing new kits compared to the old stuff. So the old stuff is definitely going out of stock and going to be out of stock for a while, as they are continuing to push the new stuff, which just makes sense from, I think, a profitability company, interest, demand, marketing, you name it. Like, it all wants to go to the new
publicly
product.
traded company.
Like, yeah, they are beholden to shareholders, and they want to see the profits there, and they are having record profits. So from their shareholder standpoint, they're doing just fine.
Right.
From the overall range, obviously, as again, ranges are expanding. It's also the golden time to be a nerd right now. So there is more interest in the hobby than I think there ever has been before. I think more people are playing.
I completely agree.
Any of the games across Games Workshop's product line. I think they are more popular than they have ever been, and that is creating an additional layer of demand that they can't keep up with, even with new factories and additional factories and things like that. So, I'm blessed that my collection is very robust, and I have what I need to work on for a while. But there's definitely been projects that I have looked at and be like, okay, that's out of stock. I'll put an email in there, but I don't need to get that to 6 months, so I'm okay. But as a new player getting into a new army, I could see that being very frustrating. So I don't feel the pain, but I understand it.
You've got everything you need.
And the receipt to prove it.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
receipt to prove it.
Jump rope.
I'm
Is that a
making
CVS receipt? No. That's a Games Workshop receipt. Jesus Christ.
I got a custom printed purity seal. That's the size to fit those receipts, because I have 3 really long ones, and it came in today.
Oh, that's really
last week.
funny.
And so I'm going to make a purity seal with the receipts.
That's fantastic.
That's really funny.
Yeah, so somebody suggested that. I was like, I'd look at that idea. And there was a guy on Etsy. I'm like, hey, can you make one that's
back to the topic.
3.5 inches wide? So I agree. I don't think it's intentional.
No, I don't think so either.
And it's kind of odd, because it's kind of, I think there's some level of them being gun shy, i.e. the Dominion effect, right? Where they couldn't even give it away.
Right.
And
yeah, that was an absolute.
They overprinted it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that, they're always worried about that balance between.
I don't think Skaventide did particularly well either. It did better than Dominion.
It did better than Dominion.
But that's a low bar.
Sure.
I mean, that's a low bar.
But I mean, we sold out of Skaventide.
Okay.
And they were giving away Dominions.
They gave away a bunch of Skaventide.
Right, but I mean, you can still, if you go to some of these game stores that I go to in LA, because there's a lot of them, you see a lot of Dominion boxes still in the shelf.
Yeah, again, low bar, Adan.
Yeah. Actually, interestingly, I know it's a surprise. I'm going to take a detour. Legends has a new big store at Oak Ridge Mall in San Jose.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They've got a Space Wolves box. They got a Krieg box. They've got. I mean, some of these.
All right, we're
kits
putting
that
this
they
on hold. I gotta go.
It was crazy the stuff that they
Interesting.
had. Yeah, they actually now have 2 stores in that mall. They have a small one.
Oh, interesting.
Which had all the rare boxes, and then the really big one where they have actual game tables and
realize
stuff.
that. Interesting.
Yeah, I was talking to Mel, the owner, because he now has 4 stores.
Yeah.
And so we were chatting about old times, but because we're both old.
But back to the point.
Back to the point. So I think there's a little gun shy thing and that kind of sense of how do we balance it kind of a thing. One of the tricks with the direct communication with them using the I want to buy thing, we have a regular who's super deep into Old World, and there's a lot of those models that sell out quickly.
Sure.
And so he uses that feature regularly, and a trick that he knows because he works midnight shift is a lot of them will come back into stock at about 2 a.m. our time.
Oh, interesting.
Because of the time difference.
10 a.m. in UK.
Right. And so, but a lot of people, when they get up in the morning, it's already out of stock.
Right.
So
work night shifts. Look at 2 a.m.
Or, I mean, some people will set their clock and
Just
check
set
it.
an alarm every night. Check your email.
I mean, I'm just saying, but I've been able to use that to good effect. For me personally, there was some of the buggies that had been out of stock for a while.
Yeah.
But Skye at Herrick Games and Hobbies had the stuff in stock. And this is true story. He had them. And so I was able to find them.
I don't doubt that.
And I didn't have to pay, eBay markups and stuff like that. Got a really nice note in my box, and it was great. So,
I went to this shop in Utah one time. I did in Utah, and like it was like truly a gamer shop. Like it was super dark.
Gadget games? Oh no.
I can't remember the name of it, but it was like super dark, and then
carpet's all worn
They
out.
had huge like tables that you could play. I want to say downstairs, like in a basement area. But I was like looking at like their Games Workshop area, and there were like old kits that like you couldn't find anymore, like up on the shelf. I'm like, I should buy this and ship it home.
Yeah.
And they were covered in
off the
dust.
cobwebs.
I love, that's my jam, is going into the old shops and being like,
Yeah.
That
number
is
one,
so
I know
cool.
you don't list online because this would be gone in a
Right,
second.
seconds.
And number two, you find the treasures. I
through
would
and
freaking
grab
love
this.
it. Yeah.
big place called Brookhurst in LA.
Yeah.
I walked in there and I found a metal penitent engine.
It's still
And
in
you
box.
threw it at someone and got
That's it.
charge.
I bought it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You bought it?
Well, this was before they came out in plastic.
Oh, okay.
But it was after they were
thank you.
out of print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such
yeah.
a joy to assemble.
Yes. So I think that there's some caution that plays into that.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with Josh that I think that it's the new hotness, right? They got to prioritize the new hotness because that's what's going to sell.
Yeah.
And ultimately,
Yeah,
that's their
I mean, this
goal.
is
They have
true.
to sell it. What I don't understand is the printed stuff. I don't understand it because they now have the experience that these cards
They know these cards
are going to
sell.
be popular. Now, I will say they're in stock at the GW stores right now.
They
They're
just came
They
back.
just came
they're
back
in stock at Legends Games.
They just came back.
And I bought mine when did they have the 200 store celebration last Saturday?
You tell me.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm wearing the shirt. So I was able to get, I got some stuff
Yeah.
for people, people that say, hey, if they have the cards, pick them up for me.
I get
was
it.
able to get 'em.
It was better than the one before.
No, Pariah
That was-
Nexus
Pariah
was
Nexus,
horrible.
yeah.
Literally 10 months of
Yeah.
waiting.
And we would get them we'd get like one the cafe is the largest store on the West Coast, GW store on the West Coast. We would get one or two
Yeah.
in at a time,
Yeah, I
and
don't
they'd be gone
understand.
by the close of business.
I don't understand that.
And I don't understand the printed stuff because,
You
Yeah,
could you
I
could
just don't get
double
it.
your print run and still sell it all.
yep.
You
And they have
actually could.
the knowledge now
Yeah.
that that's the case. Now, I understand that things are decided 2 years out, right? And some of these decisions are made before they actually have the data,
You can print this stuff so
but they have the data now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think they'll
I don't
get
get it.
better at forecasting those things. So like they know the demand for it, so hopefully they can forecast and produce
Well,
for it correctly. But yeah.
and the proof's in the pudding. I mean, the chapter proof came out a lot faster
Yes.
on the restock. The restock
Yes.
was a lot faster. So
Absolutely.
they probably had a pause button that they could hit the button for
Yeah.
and get it going. For me personally, how does it affect me personally? It doesn't really.
Yeah. You were in a situation too where you could get access to this stuff pretty easily.
Yeah, and I've been buying stuff for a long time. I have a lot of stuff that like Land Raiders. I've got more than a half dozen Land Raiders. I don't have to worry about Land Raiders.
I'm telling you, those things have gone up in
I know.
price. You should sell them.
But so if any project that I'm going to do, unless it's an army I don't own, like orcs, then I have to actually go out and find the stuff.
Skye, you're in another, like, maybe this is not the best question for this particular group because you're in a situation where, but I mean, I'm sure there are still products that you want. Especially as customers come to you and they're like, "Hey, do you have a Land Raider?"
Yeah.
Because I could really use a Land Raider.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the Land Raider comes into stock and I'll buy that, or a Rhino or whatever the case may be will come into stock. Oh, it was the Vindicator.
Chaos Vindicator, right?
Yeah.
Chaos Vindicator.
Can't get the Chaos Vindicator. I get a regular Vindicator. I'll take the regular one. I got so many Chaos sprues. I don't need it.
Just
Well,
put
we
some
were
spikes
selling
on
we
it.
were selling Proteus Land Raiders and telling them, just use that as a Land Raider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm for the first time ever, I'm actually going to slightly disagree with you guys.
Oh, I love it.
I think it is somewhat intentional.
Ooh. Okay.
And I think it's thinking from a business perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a FOMO thing?
No, I think it's a good idea from them, to be completely honest. You don't, to hold dead stock is really expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially shipping it to frickin' Australia from the UK, right? In the United States.
That's why it's so expensive there.
All that. And so I think they are doing a gradual growth because like you said, they're gun shy.
Yep.
But the
I have very
cards-
cautious in my notes. They are a very cautious
very
company.
cautious.
Yeah.
And I mean, their profits are going up. They're doing great. And we all want them to continue doing great, right?
Right.
So we can continue having the best, in my opinion, the best plastic models on the market.
Yep.
So I do think it's somewhat intentional. I wish that the slope of their production was increased.
Yeah.
I also see a lot of things that they do that are interesting to me from a business perspective. Like I would put money on the fact that Cathay was moved up in the production cycle to fit their financial calendar.
Sure. Why not?
And if you've noticed, White Dwarf doesn't align with new releases anymore.
Right.
It's completely separate because they
Right.
don't want to be beholden to it.
Right.
If a ship gets held up in customs or something, they want to just
They've
be able
actually
to
talked
launch
about
it.
that.
And,
Oh, interesting.
And so they're horse trading. Like that's why they don't tell us before a week before because they don't know. Like they not that they don't know. They've got a list of 4 or 5 things, right?
But if something were to throw it off,
I may or may not have direct information that confirms that.
woo, I've got my money back already.
you're not under NDA. What do you?
No, I mean, but exactly that, where something will come up and it's like, oh, okay, we're releasing this either before we think we were going to, or after we thought we were going to.
Interesting.
There are changes that happen.
I think that's. And you have to be that flexible.
Yeah,
Well,
and they didn't used to be flexible.
Yeah.
Right.
And they are much more flexible now. And I agree with you. I think they're very cautious. They do things. If you look at the way that they do their growth in general, everything they do is from they don't have any debt.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And they're very cautious about what they do. And I think that there is a gun shy element
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
So keep going.
And you think about the amount of money it would cost to build another factory. The 4th factory is actually a paint factory and organizing. It's not new any new manufacturing.
Okay.
And just the amount. So each mold, in my understanding, the last time I heard a cost for one injection mold was $10,000.
Yeah, it's very
just for the
expensive.
mold, right?
Yep.
So you've just got all this stuff going on. The cool thing I think is they've done a lot to supplement it. Old World. A lot of people in Old World are pissed because a lot of the models are old, but they were able to release the entire new game with 7 armies, all of them in like 15 months because they only did 1 or 2 new models for each one. And now they're going back and they're releasing new models.
Right.
My guess is that what happens is they basically have 2 production lines. 40 to 50% of their production line is new releases and 40 to 50% is the entire other backlog.
Everything else.
So you have that first run. And that's why the first run has so much in it. And then you don't see it for a while because it gets put back in and they
Makes
just go
sense.
back into
back
it.
in the queue.
And people buy new releases, right? What is it? Instapot. They went out of business because they only ever buy one Instapot and it never breaks, right?
Right.
And so they have to do that in order to keep the growth and keep it. So I don't think it's wrong. I do think it's part of it. I wish
calculated.
they would go more. And I do think one of the biggest limitations continues to be printed items. You'll see a lot of times, like for instance, Warhammer Underworlds and Warcry, they're killing it, right?
No, don't say that. Underworld's just had a release. I just bought the Rivals
They're killing
deck.
it.
They're killing it. But
No.
what I think what they'll do to kill it is
Anybody
they'll
wanna
take
put
it.
money?
They'll take it out of they'll take it out of trade. It'll go into the black boxes. It'll be direct only, so it'll still be a game, but then they don't have to worry about printing boxes for it. and
Oh
it'll
no, I
just be
completely
there,
agree.
right?
I completely agree that they might take it to direct only.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff they have for sure. And the other thing you're seeing is a lot of those Warcry warbands are now in the spearheads.
Yeah, they're coming in as they're getting rules in the main game.
Right.
Yeah, and
which
so,
they had before, but now it's more integrated because it's in the spearhead.
Yeah.
Tooling's already done for the models. You might as well use them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
yeah.
Well, and I think also what adds into this is, and people may or may not have noticed this, but they're slowly shifting stuff out of resin into plastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a trend now. And, indications are that's going to continue as you see things go out of stock, and says there's a difference between temporary out of stock and out of stock on the Forge World website. And so I think that also impacts that production cycle.
Yeah, and so Forge World's now really specialty games and special
Forge World
characters.
website
Right.
doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
It just
yeah.
redirects
It's just
to the main
resin
site.
15 plus. Yeah.
Right.
But and so a lot of times what I'll notice is when I'm ordering, the things that are out of stock are things that are going to be re-released soon. They're being reboxed. The boxes are changing.
I think so. I think you can also look at armies and you can tell like which armies don't sell as well as
Yeah.
other armies.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, half the range of AdMech is out of stock.
And Necrons right now,
My stilt guys all day.
Necrons, yeah.
because everyone has their Indominus box. No one's
They've
buying
been
Necrons
released
this
in
edition.
starter boxes and yeah.
The other thing I will also say for the cards themselves, I don't know if I said this already, but when Pride Nexus came out, I got one.
Yeah.
I got 15 this time, and then within 3 months, I got 10 more. So they are ramping up, and I want to
Yeah.
give them props for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And,
No, I agree, yeah.
And so it's just I wish the slope were a little steeper.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So due largely to the success of Space Marine 2, I think this is without a doubt. Games Workshop reported record licensing income of £50 million in the financial year ending in June 1st, 2025, which is significantly up from £31 million. And they have achieved over £255 million in pre-tax profit on at least £560 million of revenue.
$500 million.
All that said, like, you know what? It's still a small company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to talk about those numbers and still say it's not this massive conglomerate. It really is not. However, the company cautioned that its spike in licensing revenue is unlikely to repeat in coming years, which led to a temporary drop in its share price, 2.8%. What do we think we could expect from this licensing deal in terms of video games upcoming that have maybe not been announced? Like, and what would you want to see?
My hope is that they'll see that it's better to do good games than lots of games.
Yeah.
Because there's been over 100 games on the IP.
Yeah, and a lot of them,
And a lot are just trash.
they're just trash.
of
They're
them.
Yeah.
they're mobile games where
Terrible
you're like,
mobile games.
yeah,
They used to be very, very strict about what they would give that IP out. They still have control over a lot of what you can and can't do when you license their IP, but they're willing to give it out for, I think, a quick revenue hit.
yeah.
At least
But-
they were.
Like old Total War fantasy, like that single-handedly,
It's
pretty
fantastic.
much brought back the old world to their main game. Right,
It's
so
fantastic.
it's like not only is that game amazing,
That's why Cathay exists.
Yeah. And the Kiss Love models we know exist, right? But it single-handedly resurrected this game that's driving a lot of revenue for them. Space Marine 2 is just a good
Major
game.
hit.
Regardless of the skin,
I
it's
can
a
tell
fun
you
game.
how big of a hit it is. Rather than like drag it on for a while, adding more and more stuff to it, they've already announced they're working on Space Marine 3.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, okay, like you want to strike all irons hot.
And I can tell you from the store perspective, the number of people who came in
After playing
specifically and talked specifically about that game.
That was their end to the hobby. Was
Yeah.
through Space
Yes.
Marine.
you're talking about
Yes.
new people who've come
New
into
people
the
coming
store,
in and
wanting to know more about
right.
this.
And they actually did a Space Marine specific box with Lieutenant
Right.
Titus and a bunch of Tyranids and stuff. And we had
Sold
a-
at Target.
that one was different than the one that we sold in the store.
Oh, was it?
It was a different game. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Not available at FLGSs.
correct. Right. It was available. The first version was available at Target. That's where I got Titus. And then I didn't realize we were going to be coming out with it in our shop. I could have got it for a lot less. But yeah, no, it was absolutely a driver.
Interesting. Interesting.
I've actually, as small as my store is, I've had people come in as well. A couple of people.
And to be clear, Herrick Games, where you can get 15%, is
It's very small.
is in a small community.
Right, right,
like
right,
you
right.
are in a
Up in the
mountain
mountains.
community
Tiny
in
little
California.
mountain town.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's not like you tend to get a lot of foot traffic
No.
or that kind of thing.
I'm only
So that's
open on Thursdays and Tuesday nights.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Josh.
Yeah. Game wise, I'm not entirely sure what I want to see. Space Marine 3, I'm very excited to see what they do with that. It's funny, as we were talking earlier, I'm actually excited to replay the original Dawn of Wars. And
That's in my
revisit
notes.
Just RTS has always been a sweet spot for me, so I'm actually excited I was just looking at them in my Steam library yesterday. I'm like, I should play these again. I'm very behind on video games in general. Like I'm maybe 2 hours into Rogue Trader and was very much enjoying that, but haven't had time to really delve into that. So,
But again, quality game.
very quality game for the
Especially after all the patches and expansions that
Right,
come out.
yeah.
Owlcat is known for putting out kind of buggy stuff, but once it gets its legs under it. But I'll tell you,
Once
like right
it's
from the
dialed.
get-go, I loved that game. Like I played through the whole thing. I ran into one show-stopping bug that I just had to go back to an earlier save on.
And I wish that
And
they
now
had
I've played through it
released
again.
the Rogue Trader box set in response to that, because we did get people coming in asking.
That's interesting. And now they're doing a
Yeah.
Dark Heresy game.
Yeah.
which
Hellcat.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Super stoked about that.
So I'm not sure what I'm excited for, but I'm definitely glad that they are putting their IP into some quality products and movies. Like I'm very curious to see what the Henry Cavill series
It's on back burner now because of Highlander.
It'll still come
That's
someday.
not necessarily true.
Okay.
It takes a long time to get these things.
They only got licensing
Saying
dialed
it's-
in like
I would say
December.
4 months ago.
Saying
Yeah,
it's on
so-
the
okay, so
back
8 months.
burner is another.
Yeah.
That's not the correct word. I think where does it fall in the scheduling? is
Right.
probably
Okay.
the-
Yes. Not back burner. I'm saying Cavill has prioritized Highlander ahead of it.
because he's probably been able to get movement on that fast.
Right. They're
If they only just got licensing like agreement signed off on, they still have to do all the scripting
Right,
and development
right,
and all
right,
that.
right.
It's in pre-production.
I didn't mean
it's
to be
going to be there
negative,
for a
just-
long time.
No, it's not that you're negative. It's just like that's,
wrong
that's
word.
not it at all. It's just that there's so much. Oh my God. If I have to see, like, I painted Henry Cavill's army. No, you didn't. You painted Custodes. You've put picture of Henry Cavill in your thumbnail.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
stop with the riding his cape, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. People came in. Which army is Henry Cavill's?
Well, I mean, if they did, then it's
Yeah,
this one
that's
and buy
great.
it. That's
Yeah.
fine. Unfortunately, half of that army is not available.
But if you hit the little thing, it'll notify
Oh,
you
thanks.
at 2:00 in the morning.
Henry Cavill will call you and tell you it's available.
Yeah, perfect. Personalized call.
On the video game, the specific video game that I really want is
Yeah.
Total War Warhammer 40K. I would love it. Or like a Master of Orion version, turn-based with real-time combat.
That would be cool.
I think either one of those would just be really fun. Like there's an old Epic Armageddon was an iPad game
Right.
where it was hex based
Yeah.
and it was super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Even though it had like really crummy graphics
Oh,
and everything.
yeah,
Like the game
horrible.
was
The
good.
number of
Yeah.
people I see playing Tacticus is
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
on the mobile.
I've tried it. I can't get into it.
I'm not a big fan of that type of mobile game.
Right.
But I would love another like that scope of game.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like Space Marine, I enjoy, third person shooter, but I would love the feeling of like controlling my empire, right? Controlling my sector.
Yeah.
It
Right.
is, I think,
The
what I
idea of
would
the
love to see in a
Masters of
40K.
Orion kind of version of it is a great one.
That'd be fun.
Single
great
player campaign style.
Yeah.
Yeah. That does.
Have you tried Rogue Trader? Like as an RPG game, as a CRPG game, it
haven't
is
tried it yet.
fantastic. It's fantastic. And like it gave me a view into the Fantasy Flight Rogue Trader game. When I originally read that game, I was like, okay, I like kind of see how this is played. Once I played the CRPG, the visuals and everything, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I get it.
Brings it to life.
oh,
that's
Really,
cool.
really cool.
Literally brings it to life. Yeah.
I'll
that's
add it
pretty
to my
fun.
list.
That's a good one. And Dark Heresy is going to come out by the same company, although they're redoing like the engine and everything. I think for me, like we played a lot of Space Marine 2. I would very much like Space Marine 3. But I will spend a ton of time on a really good CRPG.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I'm not a big video game guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you
But-
play Space Marine 2?
I played a lot of Space Marine 1 with my kids.
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
Space Marine 2, I'm not good at the first person
Oh, you just set it to easy.
live
man.
action stuff. Now, one of the things you talked about earlier about how they were super controlling about video game stuff in the previous thing, that derailed a project that we got to see a preview of.
Yeah.
And so what I would like to see is going back to a kind of a VR turn-based.
By the way, it came out.
I know it came out,
Yeah.
but they
Like I had it and played it.
right. Me too.
Yeah.
But
What was it called? I can't remember what it was called.
well, it was Betrayal of Calf.
Was that what the title of the game was though? I can't remember what the title. But it was a turn-based. It was VR
version of
right.
it was the
Yeah,
board game
yeah.
Betrayal at Calf.
Okay.
Word Bears versus
It was
Ultramarines.
word. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was literally.
But it had its own rules.
Yep.
There was something pretty amazing about standing next to a Space Marine or a dreadnought, and you're like, oh, it is big.
yeah, and it had this really cool intro thing with a Thunderhawk crashing, and
It was impressive. It was
Yeah.
impressive.
so. But they ran into that hyper control thing, and it got derailed. So I would love now that they're being a little bit more
They're still
flexible.
hyper-control.
I know, but I mean they're not quite as tight on it as they were back then, which you were noting earlier. And so I would like to see a VR turn-based.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
But for me, and somebody else had said this already. I think it was Skye. Quality over quantity.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree 100%.
Quality over quantity.
That's easy to say. I mean, I think a lot of people go into game design and then they're like, we're going to do this huge thing. And then like the scope gets dropped down and dropped
Right.
down and
The
dropped down as reality
kicks
starts
in.
to
Yeah.
kick in.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Takes
That's
a
why you
lot of
got-
money to develop a video
Well, that's why you got to
Yeah.
go with known publishers who know what they're
if
doing.
they want to even do your property.
Right.
I mean, there is, I was just down in Southern California when my buddy Ryan retired and did his retirement party, and he worked for Sigil Games Online, and he worked for Sony Online Interactive. He was one of the lead. He was the lead developer on EverQuest after Luckland came out. Like, so I was talking to a bunch of video game professionals down there, and they're like, video game industry is in a bad shape right now.
Yeah.
People lay off left and right.
Yeah.
Like, good luck getting your game made.
Yeah, my friend Craig, he's a CEO for a game design company.
Yeah.
It's 5 years to do a AAA game.
It's crazy. And crazy.
Immense
Millions,
amount of money, yeah.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
Nuts. Anyway, all right. Well, listen, let's take a short break. We'll come back. We've got some more questions I want to pose to you guys. Maybe we'll stay a little on track. Maybe we won't, but we'll be right back.
Sorry I'm late, guys. I just finished a tank weathering class with Justin from
Ho,
Secret.
ho, ho. Hey, Travis, that's great. But Blake and I came up with the greatest event ever.
Really? I'm all ears.
All right, tell him, Ed. But start with the best part.
Okay, it's a 40K GT, and the best part is it takes place on the beach.
But
I know what you're going to say. How can you enjoy the beach when you're playing all day long? Here's the best part. It's only 2 leisurely 3.5-hour matches per day.
yes, but
Let me stop you right there, Travis. The best part is this is an all-inclusive 4-day, 3-night retreat with lodging and 10 meals included for only $400.
I know because
I haven't got to the best part yet, Travis. The best part is it's in Hawaii.
guys, that's great. But it's already being done.
Really?
Yes, War on the Shore is a GT that takes place from January 8th to the 11th in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii, and it incorporates everything you've already said. But you want to know what the best part is?
What?
It's for charity.
For more information, head to tablewarcharities.org/events and aloha.
All right, we're back. I got a couple more questions for you guys, and I can see Skye already smiling about this question. A long discontinued faction has returned, but not in the old world. Games Workshop has reintroduced the Chaos Dwarves under a new name and model range in Age of Sigmar's 2025 summer preview. This revival includes their industrial aesthetic with hobgoblins and bull centaurs. Shows Games Workshop leaning into nostalgia while redirecting IP to different settings, keeping old lore alive but reshaped within Age of Sigmar, not the old world. So what are your thoughts? Should Chaos Dwarves remain in the old world? And how should they balance like what they release for old world versus what they release for Age of Sigmar? And what are your kind of thoughts there? I know you're a huge fan of Chaos Dwarves, Skye. So let's start with you.
Yeah, remember when we saw the preview video?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's Chaos Doors. It's Chaos Doors. And we also,
I
because of
said,
all the
well,
big
how do you
hats.
know? And you
Yeah.
were
Because
like,
of all the big hats.
yeah.
But we also were like Votan, Tomb Kings. Like we got like half of them.
We got a ton
Yeah,
of
it
stuff.
was awesome. That was a good release.
That was a really good preview.
Yeah. So we
It caused Aaron to buy a huge gift card from you so that he could buy the Votan stuff.
So I don't think this is a surprise to anyone that they came back. When Old World came back, they there's the seven or eight main ones, and then all the ones that they carved out were ones that they wanted for Age of Sigmar, right? Lizardmen, Dark Elves, which is
Seraphon.
really interesting. Seraphon, Undead, Skaven, and Chaos Dwarfs was the only one that wasn't there. So I don't think it was a surprise.
But Chaos Swords were always a Forge World faction, right?
Yeah, because
Chaos
they went out of print before 8th edition.
Yeah.
yeah, so
They've been
Chaos
out for a
Dwarves
while.
were
For a while.
metal.
Yes.
And then
So they weren't a Forge World.
No.
So I always thought they were a Forge World only faction.
no, so they were metal, and then Alan Bly's Red Book came out,
yeah.
which was awesome, and that was supposed to be the Horus Heresy of fantasy, right? You had
Right.
an amazing, the best Forge World fantasy models.
It's a great story.
the best everything, Monstrous Arcanum, and that was where all the Chaos Dwarf Forge World stuff came in.
Okay,
So they
okay.
were
That
Forge
was
World
kind of my
exclusive.
first experience with them. I hadn't really
But they
paid
weren't
attention.
in regular rotation in 7th or 8th edition in the regular game.
Right, because they were done.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
Yeah, they had I think they had like a PDF essentially. They weren't releasing them as PDFs, but they would do like, journal armies at the time. So it was not a surprise for anyone. I actually think a lot of us thought Chaos Dwarves were going to come out in the Skaventide box because there were sprues that came out, and it turned out it was the Blood Bowl team for Chaos Dwarves. So number one, I'm super excited.
Do you play Age of Sigmar?
I don't. I'm not going to use them for Age of Sigmar. I'm going to use them for Chaos Dwarves and Old World, which is awesome. And I'm going to use the big flaming bull. I'm going to use them to convert Leroy, actually, from Leroy Jenkins from earlier,
nice.
right? So one of my converted Reaver Titans.
Interesting.
So I'm super excited about that. And I think
Won't the scale be a little off to the Old World
no,
stuff?
it'll be a little bit bigger, but they also increased all the bases.
Base
in Old
sizes,
World,
yep.
So it'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
It won't like the new Forge World models and the new Dwarf General are slightly bigger, but I'm also, in my opinion, I like it when models aren't on the same height. So
And do they have Legends rules for Chaos Dwarves?
Yeah, just like vampire counts.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they've had them
Okay.
since the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Day one.
Yeah.
Free.
yeah.
And if you get those free rules at Herrick Games, you get for 15% off.
Yeah.
15% off. Zero is still zero.
But they haven't been out for 10 years, just in case you're wondering.
They have not.
So I'm super excited about it, and I think it's what I was expecting, and I think it's based the reason why it came out in Age of Sigmar is based on the way that the games are housed at GW between their main studio and their specialist studio. And the specialist studio is not doing a lot in new plastic.
Specialist Studio is controlling Old World, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Old World, Necromunda, Adeptus Titanicus,
Yeah.
LI, right? So they're not doing a ton. They just don't have a ton of sculptors, right? Most of the sculptors are in the main studio. So I honestly think it's the best thing that could happen for Chaos Dwarves in Old World, because the only other release the way they would be able to do that would be bring back the old resin models only at Forge World, and then you would never see them.
Understood.
They would never be installed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the new aesthetic, I think a lot of people have a problem with the aesthetic. They're like, oh, it's not grim enough. It's not dark enough.
Back up a second. That's actually not true, because they just released Cathay for Old World, so they could create a whole line.
Yes. But the Cathay full book was developed for the Old World
Right.
Total War fantasy. So it's been around for a while. Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a lot of
I get what you're
production
saying.
line.
I'm just saying it's doable.
Yeah,
but
and I think we'll see it. We'll see it with Kislev.
You know, what's interesting and just occurs to me as you're talking about this, though, is from a revenue generating perspective, it's probably better for them to drop it in Age of Sigmar, which arguably I will say it's their second major line. It has more players than Old World.
Yeah. And
I think a lot of people like Skye are going to double dip on this.
Yeah.
Where like it is an Age of Sigmar army,
But you can
use
double
it for the
purpose
Old
it
World.
into Old
like
World.
that's my Vampire Counts army is a great example. I'm using entirely Age of Sigmar models for this used a nifty magnetic base swap system that I can do, go from rounds to or ovals to square base. It's all new models, which was a joy to paint. I love the aesthetic. But I've now got 2 armies in one.
I guess I didn't realize your vampire counts were all new models. I thought you were doing the old. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think it's awesome because when you put together new models and you go back and put together the old models, you're like, oh, why is the mold line right on his nose?
Oh, I know.
Why are his hands the size of a whole dwarf? You know, they've
God,
definitely aged.
when I painted that metal demon prince, I was just like, this sucks. Like even the paint doesn't go on as well as it does on a plastic.
Chips off so easy.
Chips off so easy. What about you there, Don? Any thoughts on this, or you don't really care either way?
Oh, I got thoughts.
Let's hear them.
Well, my memory, see, I played 6th, 7th, and 8th, I think, in Fantasy Battle, and played at the Quake City Rumble GT, 2-day GTs every year.
Yeah.
My memory, and I could be just my old man brain, but my memory was that they were kind of overpowered and they were always comp nerfed.
Yeah.
Okay, I was right. And
comp nerf, for people who aren't aware.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so
at tournaments,
at Warhammer Fantasy Battle,
or even 40K.
Yeah, although they don't do it so much for 40K anymore. But for Warhammer,
nobody does it anymore.
But Warhammer Fantasy Battles,
edition,
well, the old world community actually does still comp.
Well, because basically the same game.
Yeah, right. So what that means is that they would assess certain units as being either overpowered or not overpowered, and they would limit either what ones you can take or how many of them you can take, and basically restrict your army list building.
Yep.
Because it was too easy to overpower your army, depending on the faction. And you got bonuses or negatives depending on how much of certain types of units you took and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, this was a controversial. That was a controversial topic at the time. If you owned one of those armies, you were upset by perceived, bias against your army.
And there was kind of like the ITC was with 40K. There was a similar type of kind of general consensus about what were the overpowered units. And so people who ran tournaments, they kind of talked to each other and kind of decided on how they were going to comp things.
But listen, I'm just telling you, okay, cool for Warhammer Fantasy.
Right.
For 40K, like you could, it was so regional and like people were. But there was that game up in Sacramento there was that store up in Sacramento. It was like heavily comp every tournament they played.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And ITC did a type of comping before we got to the current system.
That's true.
So
that's true.
But so.
Didn't mean to throw you off with the comp.
No, it's fine. They were overpowered back then. And I agreed putting them in old world would probably not have been the move in terms of making money off of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the models. I'm not a fan of the release. I'm not sure that they needed another Chaos faction, or B, another Dwarf faction.
You're wrong. Okay.
Or B, another Dwarf faction. There's already 5 Chaos factions in Age of Sigmar.
Now there's 6.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem.
I would rather have seen them expand and put more variety into the Fire Dwarves, into the Fire Slayers.
You know what's interesting? This is fascinating to me because I actually love this model line.
Oh God!
Like it almost makes me go, oh man, maybe I should do Age of Sigmar. I'm not going to, but I really, really like it. Whereas
I don't need a Hal Fleischer army in my Age of Sigmar.
At least none of these dwarves are standing on stilts. I'll just say that.
Oh man! I mean,
they'd be the ones to do it if anyone.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that would make sense.
Right. I mean, I'm waiting for the model that's 2 Chaos dwarves in an overcoat.
It's gonna be awesome. I'll do it.
With a giant hat.
And that's Jenkins.
It's
Leroy and Jenkins.
There's actually a model in one of the Underworld's war bands of 2 guys standing on each other's shoulders with a
it's undead, right? Yeah.
It's a
Gets goblins, I think.
No, it's an Imperial. It's a Cities of Sigmar. The brothers, the Brotherhood, something. Or
I remember the preview of
I've seen the model. Yeah.
Yeah, I was painting them up for my Age of Sigmar.
It's just fascinating that you actually do not.
I don't
like.
So it's a. Niche.
I'm always fascinated when you're like, I do not like.
So
this
it is definitely a niche fan favorite.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's been other things that were like, quote unquote fan favorites, air quotes, that didn't sell worth a damn.
I think these are going to sell well.
And it's a nostalgia hit. and you might get some old grognards who buy them, but that's not what's driving revenue for GW.
As we just
it's
talked
the new
about,
players.
Correct.
We just talked about new releases, new.
It's the new.
I think this though,
It's gonna. There'll be an initial heavy hit.
It'll be interesting.
and you think it'll just die out.
Yep.
I've never liked the aesthetic of Chaos Dwarves.
I
and
know.
Don't like these either.
Nope.
Wow.
But I've never been a dwarf player. I've always been an elf player.
Okay.
In any system.
We'll
whether,
forgive you.
Elf
Well,
and
listen,
undead, have always been my two flavors.
It's 2025. Get over your racial bias.
Well, no, I mean the Caradron Overlords. The Caradron Overlords. They've kind of developed that faction and brought in some cool stuff,
Which I think is a cool faction.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen them do more with the Fire Slayers. If you want to do more dwarf stuff, you already have a dwarf
What's interesting?
faction.
I do not like the.
I don't
Fire
either.
Slayers
I
at
don't
all.
like
I
the
don't
current
like them
Fire
either.
Slayers models, because it's just a bunch of naked little guys with mohawks. Do something.
All right, I take
of
it
more
back.
variety.
I do like it.
You know, I have an army
We
that's
got
just
butt
all
dwarves. We got bubble dwarves. We've got hat dwarves.
that dwarves.
It's an
Like I have an army that's just all magma droths. 'Cause I love those big fire dragon. Drakes.
They're cool
fire
looking.
drakes. Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
So I would, if they're going to do dwarf stuff, develop that line more. I don't need another chaos faction. I don't need big hats. I don't
You're
want
not
that.
a chaos guy though.
Nope.
I actually, I can see that feedback as well. And I'm not an Age of Sigmar player. So I can see
Neither am I. So what skin in the game do I have?
Why
here?
do you need 3 dwarf factions? And I think Age of Sigmar sometimes suffers from looking at it from the outside and as a retailer only, lots of little armies,
That's true.
right? Like there's like, I
And
feel
part
like
of that's in response to the fact that they had to carry some stuff over. Like the
Right.
fire dwarves are only there to satisfy the dwarf players from Orld War.
right.
It's a pretty small model count game compared to 40K.
And I would like to see that. I'd like to maybe them kind of fade into the legends.
Yeah. Well, and like in KO, they Karajan Overlords. They just came out with like the second half
Yeah.
of that army, right?
Yeah.
And some of them are duplicative, but yeah, I can understand that feedback. And for me, as I'm like, hey, I just like Chaos Dwarves. Chaos Dwarves do everything that dwarves do, but none of the bad things, and just better at all of it. So they're just more fun to play in the old world.
Well, and Spearhead has become super popular.
yeah.
So, I'm sure we'll see a lot of Chaos Dwarf Spearhead players.
I've even been thinking about doing Spearhead, and I'm like, I don't want to play Age of Sigmar.
It's a great
Spearhead's a
system.
great- it's a great game.
It's what Combat Patrol wishes it was.
right. That's exactly that's
My
what I've
God,
heard as
I've
well.
heard you say that so many times. now.
It's true. It is true.
cool.
The tactical card system that they have and the way that they
great
have it,
You
evolution
watch.
of the
You
system.
watch the next edition of 40K.
it'll be just like that.
Yeah.
It will.
We do see a lot
And
of
then I
stuff do
don't.
that.
And then I don't need to buy
For
an Age
years.
of Sigmar
For
army to
decades.
play it because I'll be playing at 40K. And I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
That killed that conversation.
Are we done with this question? Josh, did you get?
yeah, let's.
Cool story, bro.
How many elf factions are there? Wood elves, high elves.
Wood elves, high elves, dark
Fish
elves,
elves.
which are legends,
And fish elves.
and then that's old world, and then
In Sigmar.
in Sigmar you have
Daughters of
Sylvaneth,
Cain.
which have elf element to it still. Then the Illumineth.
Lumineth, yeah, the pointy
And-
elves, the
and
Lumineth
then
Realm
the,
Lords, Daughters of Cain,
what are
and
they,
the fish
sea
elves.
elves?
The
Well, that
Adan
sounds-
Deepkin.
Ideneth.
Sounds like 4 different elf factions in Age of Sigmar.
No, the
Maybe the dwarves deserve
Sylvaneth,
another one.
Sylvaneth are not elves. There are no elves in Sylvaneth.
There's spirits of elves.
They're all
and
they're all tree spirits.
Listen, they're elf adjacent.
They are. They're elf adjacent.
there are elves who have merged with tree spirits.
Yeah.
I still consider it an elf faction.
All right, Games Workshop changed their logo after
There's
many
also
years
wood elves
recently.
in the old world.
There is, yeah.
Thoughts on the new Games Workshop logo?
Who cares?
Okay, you don't care.
Yeah, I mean the big reason for this is I think there's a logistic reason why they did this. I think they're not actually using a graphic logo in any of their web stuff, so it is now searchable, and they are getting hits and credit for that versus a logo. Like I think this was a logistical change.
Yeah.
It's
an SEO change.
It is. It really is. It's an
Search
SEO
engine
change, which is
optimization.
interesting that they would make that change because it's been so identifiable for so long.
Yeah, but they
with
have
that
the
logo.
Warhammer logo, which they that combo Warhammer logo that I have on my shirt.
Yep.
And they have the Citadel logo for their miniature line.
Yep.
And those are iconic.
Yep.
And by using that Games Workshop searchable logo now, quote unquote logo, it serves its purpose, right?
Yeah.
And so
Well, the interesting thing is big picture.
what?
You already said you didn't care.
No, I mean, I don't care that they changed it. I mean, I understand the reason for it, but it's like, yeah, so what?
Games Workshop doesn't really have any real competition, so why they're optimizing their SEO over just something that's easily identifiable that's been there
Maintain your lead.
It's because of online retailers.
Right.
100%. They in the last year, GW is advertising on Google for the first time.
Right.
Like paid ads.
Yeah, okay.
Which is unusual that they're doing
It's
paid
so
ads,
weird.
period.
Yeah.
And it's also weird because I know for a fact they have an IP exclusion at GW. So they're the only ones that can actually run on that word. Because I used to work at Google in advertising and I looked it up.
Honestly, I thought their old logo for Games Workshop looked dated.
It's dated.
It was 80s and stale. The new one is boring, but it's also a callback to their original logo.
Yeah.
Like somebody pointed out, like this is their original.
It's super simple. It's safe.
It's just a font.
It probably appeals to newer, younger gamers more than the old logo.
The old
did,
70s
but
looking
the
thing.
SEO is absolutely the reason they did that.
The other-
Interesting.
The other thing they can do is the old one, they probably couldn't vector on mobile games very well.
Right.
And,
that's a good
apps
point.
and things like that. Like
Right.
that was a huge, when we changed the logo at Google from the 1 to the G and they were like, why did you change that? And then they went into all the little things that like, if you remove serifs, it makes it like 1/10 the size. So it's easier to load and you can do it across properties. There's all these, I'm not a graphic designer, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
And so I saw it and I was like,
But you play one on TV.
yeah, I play one on TV. I listen to them and I regurgitate what I've heard. So yeah, do I like it? No, I like the red and the yellow because that's
I
what I've
don't
grown
like
up
it.
with.
I don't
but
like it.
It's
I've never liked it. I've always looked at it and thought, look like a kid.
Is that why you have red and
behind
yellow on the Herrick logo?
Actually, that's from my family crest.
Oh.
Yeah, so my family, like the Herrick family crest is red and yellow, and then it's the head of a bull, and that's why it's a bull guy. So that's
I didn't
that's
know.
where
The
logo
more you
came from.
know.
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to get a discount there?
Yeah. Been subscribing for the
that. Okay, so anyway,
that joke is old, and I'm the one that owns the shop.
I'm loving it.
It's making me uncomfortable. I hope that everyone else.
No such thing as
it is
bad
the one.
publicity,
It is-
Skye.
it is
Until
literally-
this episode.
It was literally not intended like this organically happened. All right.
Doing Brian Jobs for him.
Seriously here though. So this was an interesting question that I recently saw.
We'll be the judge of that.
Okay. Next time you get to come up with all the questions, tough guy. He's like, maybe we should alternate reading questions. Or maybe you should come up with a bunch of questions and you lead it next time.
Yeah.
You ready to do that?
Oh, you didn't tell me I had to make up the questions.
Where do you think they come? I spend a bunch of time searching for this stuff.
Okay.
I appreciate the questions,
Yes.
Carl.
This was an interesting question,
Yes, it
whether Adan acknowledges it or not, that I discovered by user JNA Productions on Daka Daka. In that post, he asks, why do some armies feel more fun to face than other armies? In his example, he talks about 2 armies he plays. Nurgle demons with lots of demons and Death Guard with obviously fewer models, but tougher models. He goes on to state that people tend to enjoy playing against his demons more, even though he wins with them regularly, because they feel like they're killing things.
Yep.
I'm summarizing his post a little bit there. But for you, what are the key factors that makes an army fun to play against? And what makes an army unfun to play against?
You want to feel like you're killing things.
Yeah.
So higher model count armies are generally more fun to play against because you are accomplishing something even if you are losing on points.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that level of engagement. Armies that engage in more phases of the game are also more fun to play against.
So let me stop you there for a second because I want to acknowledge that I think you're 100% right on the more models. And I'll go back to when I played at the Broadside Bash down in Southern California. That guy brought out the 3 Turvagon list spawning all the gaunts. And like I lost the game, but I swear I killed like 150.
Yeah, you were talking about this during the World Eaters episode.
Yeah. I mean, but that was, to this day, I remember, like we
Right.
talk about games you remember playing. I remember that game. And I remember asking a guy for a copy of his list, not because I wanted to like go win games, but I wanted like other people will enjoy playing against this and I will
absolutely.
enjoy playing it.
Yep.
So yes, I agree with you 100% on your first point. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, armies that play in more phases of the game are more enjoyable to play against. If for me personally, the close games are always the most enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an army that can shoot well, it can punch well, it's fast, it's mobile, and plays in a more
well-rounded.
a more dynamic way of playing the game, I think, is more engaging for both players on the board. You're actually engaged in the game the entire time, not just when it's your turn, but when it's your opponent's turn as well.
So as opposed to an army that is very strong in the shooting phase and nothing else,
right?
It's like, well, their shooting phase comes, and then here comes the punch.
And the way the game is structured, so it's 40K specifically. Let's look at this. Like if you're playing a game against Tau, classic example,
Right,
very
I was gonna say, this is the
one-sided in
classic
shooting,
example.
right? So you are just picking up models in the shooting phase, not that fun or engaging. Like you're making some armor saves, sure. And it's like mostly you're just trying to mitigate losing models. When you get to combat phase against any other army, Tau included, both players are dealing damage to each other in each player's turn. So it is a very dynamic game moment where both players are swinging. Like something is happening for both players, no matter whose turn it is. And that, I think, makes for more interesting gameplay. So armies that are doing multiple things and doing those well, or obviously to varying degrees, like maybe you aren't as mobile, but you're tougher, you're more elite, so you can take the hit.
I.e. Death Guard.
Yeah, so the Death Guard army is less fun to play against because they're slow, they're plotting, and they are just really hard to take down. When Games Workshop leans into a theme, they tend to double down on that theme. So they're like, not only are they tough, they have extra wounds, and then they have a feel no pain on top of that. And I don't think they have that anymore. I believe that
The elves are faster and they shoot better.
Elves being the classic example of like, we'll just make them better in every way because there's elves. There's definitely a bias for elves.
Or Eldari, or
works for me because I like elves. So, but I think it's just that it's the gameplay dynamic and how the game is designed to play, and it's within the core system of the rules that makes that it's an engagement issue. I think more than anything. Like
that's a really interesting observation. Yeah. Thoughts, Adan? What he said.
He doesn't find it to be an interesting question.
No, actually, it is actually a very interesting question. Aha! It's a very interesting question. I agree. It's a very interesting question. I think I agree with a lot of what Josh says. I think, to me, also a big factor for me in terms of whether an army is fun or unfun to play against is really the player.
Okay.
I mean, I've played against,
and we know orc players are the worst.
Yeah.
They are.
And especially pursuing 10-year-old IP and their completely created, model army and everything.
And wait till I come up with my Buzz Lightyear army. That's 25 years.
Cross the
or 30 years. I know. Don't cross the streams. I know. See, you got me off track. And so I agree with a lot of what Josh says.
Yeah.
But I think the player has a lot to do with it. I've had very fun games against Tau players.
Sure.
Right? I've had fun games against Death Guard players. But I think that there is a factor of that, that interaction. I played against a World Eater player at Grand Area last year where he would use a unit of 8-bound followed by a unit of Exalted 8-bound. He did them in waves. That was not fun.
Those guys was not fun. Those guys hit so hard.
Because, as Josh was saying, I was just picking up models.
Yeah.
He would charge. I was like, okay, I'm just going to pick these guys up. Don't even roll the dice.
Yeah.
They're dead. These are orcs with no feel, no pain, no invuln save. I'm just picking them up.
Yeah.
And that wasn't fun.
This is one of the reasons I struggle.
But he was a
with
really
armies.
good guy.
Yeah.
We had some laughs and stuff. The army wasn't fun to play against, but he was. I had a good time with the game. So I think that
Didn't you just play Tom's World Eaters against Tom World?
I haven't, no.
I thought you did it down at Cheyenne's.
No, I played against Blake.
Oh, right.
Blake and Ed. But I mean, Russ from the D6 generation, when he used to own Daka Daka, he always talked about your army should have hack, dack, and back, right? Stuff that can hack, stuff that can shoot, stuff you can put in people's backfield. So there's multiple levels of interaction. It makes for a good army build, but it also makes for a good game.
Yeah. Sure.
And back to your thing about lots of models to kill, Doc Dragon and I were playing a team game in Sacramento in a tournament, and there was these two guys, and it was a horde orc army. And they were like, okay, your goal is to kill as many orcs as you can. And we're going to keep track of who of our opponents killed the most orcs.
That's cool.
And so all we did all game, I don't even remember who won that game.
Yeah. Doc Dragon is such a nice guy too. I have not seen him in forever. He used to run like the event at Pacific Con.
Right.
And but he is on our Hobby Progress channel.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I was excited.
He has
to
a
see
little
him.
dragon logo.
That guy's great.
And I think that Doc and I killed over 100 orcs.
That's awesome.
It was awesome, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, what's the objective? I don't care. Kill that guy.
Yeah.
That was me at the
Turvagon thing.
Not at that at the Maelstrom Mixer, where I was just like, oh wait, I get points for killing characters.
Yeah.
Where's the characters?
Well, and it comes down
What's
to
the
that
mission? I don't care.
It
Who's
comes
the
into the
character?
idea of the Pyrrhic victory. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I'm going to lose the game, but if I can kill that guy,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What about you? Any thoughts there? Any
Yeah.
deep thoughts there, Jack Andy?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, do you think it's an interesting question?
I do think it's
Okay, good.
interesting. I agree.
Nailed it. 3 for 3.
it. Yep.
And I agree. I tend to think of I'm playing people, not armies. And-
Okay.
And so I don't really care.
That's kind of leaning into Adan's line of thinking there.
In terms of armies themselves, though, I think the variety is important, right? So, first of all, I'm not talking about tournament. Like when you're going into a tournament,
right,
they're completely
different
different,
thing.
right?
We're talking about playing for fun.
Yeah. When you show up at a local
For
store,
some people, that's fun.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
We're talking about not so competition
Right.
level of play.
yeah, and I'm envisioning a pickup game,
Right.
And I think a pickup list needs to have all the bits, right? You can be a Death Guard player, bring your cool stuff, but also bring some plague zombies, right? Don't make everything the hardest thing in your list, because it's not fun. And the other thing I think, my first game at Adepticon in the Bushido tournament, I played against the guy who'd go on to win. His army list was basically you don't get to play.
Right.
It was-
So you're about to raise a point I was going to
Yeah,
raise.
it was like, oh, I do this, and then I remove all the activations on all your guys. I was like, okay, cool, turn 2, right? Like,
I do it again.
yeah. Like it was, okay, like and it was a tournament, right? I didn't fault him for that, but when you were explaining this, there's instances like that where people remove your ability to do something
Right.
cool.
That
and
is
that's-
the key.
that's
That
not
is
fun.
the key point I was going to make on this topic, which is, and they've done less of this.
Yes.
they have done less of this. But armies that debuff your stuff,
Yeah.
or
meaning
prevent you from doing your stuff.
preventing you from doing your activations, or I stop all psychers, and it's like, okay, wait a second.
Well,
You
the
know,
classic one is no inbone saves against this weapon.
Yeah.
right.
Playing a demon player.
Modern game design definitely puts an emphasis on yes and, not
Right.
no,
Not,
but
no, I'm going to stop you from doing this.
right. There are still instances of that, but it's
rare,
severely
and it's more
de-emphasized.
the Thousand Sons almost get into that territory now in some ways, because it's they almost have a psychic phase now, like almost. They have a phase that they do at the beginning, of their, I think, shooting phase or whatever. But there's a period where I have 4 different things I can do. Okay, I do those things, but it's like, the other thing about Thousand Sons is they put out so many mortal wounds,
Right.
that it's like, you don't get a save against that.
Right.
You don't get a save against that.
Right.
You don't get, and I almost border on this feels ugly.
Yeah.
But I think you can modify that by making sure that's not your whole list. And I think
Why would I do that?
whenever
I win.
I actually agree
first.
with you.
Yeah.
whenever I would build a list, I always wanted 1, maybe 2 of something, right? Like if I'm like, this is so good, I don't want to bring 3 of it.
Yeah.
It's different. Different
Or
from a
it
tournament.
used to be 6.
Yeah.
That was the old Justin special.
I like, I like
Ravagers are good.
I like
Vipers.
saying,
Vipers, that was it.
this unit has a job. That's what their job is. And then I have another unit that does it. That's probably the Eldari player in me, right? You have your Banshees go after
Everybody's got a
power
job,
army,
yeah,
right? And you have that job, and that's what's good at it. If they do their job, you do well, but you don't spam stuff. And I think that helps play the game, because I want you to bring your cool thing that's really hard to kill, but don't bring 4 of them, right? I didn't bring or tell me beforehand.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'm
I
bringing
think
4
that's
land
part of the
raiders.
discussion of what's going to happen in a game, right?
Yeah,
right.
What I'm more, I think the question is more focused about is what specifically makes an army not fun to play against. And I don't know that it's, well, you can take 3 of these in army, and that's a general rule across everything. For me, I think you hit it on the head, Josh, but then you also started hitting on the head there, Skye, and I jumped in and interrupted you to try to steal credit, was when you take away the cool
Right.
thing I get to do.
Right.
Because that might be the thing I really
Wanna do.
love
Yeah.
about my army. There's the first time I was playing Thousand Sons recently against Travis, like there's this combination of things you have to do, which sounded really great on paper, but it's actually like really expensive to pull off and
Right.
complicated. Where you get rubrics, they get out of a rhino, the rhino shoots something, and now all of a sudden you get all
yeah, I
these
remember you talking
benefits,
about this, yeah.
all these benefits against that thing. I got out of the rhino and I'm like setting up for my attack, and Travis was like, I shoot the rhino, and he like destroyed the rhino. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't get to do that there. And unfortunately, I had a second rhino, and I did it in a different phase. But then it also like I rolled terrible, and it was like, well, this is really not as good as I thought this was.
Yeah.
But I and that's not an instance of it taking away something cool I was going to do. Like that was a really good strategic play.
Plus, like I changed the character that was with the Breaka Boys because if they got out of the vehicle and failed their charge, they were going to get deleted. I wouldn't be able to use them. So I put in a pain boy instead, so they get to feel no pain. Right, and so you're trying to mitigate being able to actually use the unit.
I think the biggest example of this I've ever seen was the old Necrons phasing out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was just like everybody knew.
Yep.
Just target all these models. I just need to get to this number, and
kill all
then
the
he
warriors.
phases
And you'll
out.
just lose.
Yeah.
You're just
Well,
all off the
and
table.
you'd walk up to the table and say, "What's your phase out number?"
Yep. Yeah, that was.
You'd ask the question.
So I'm really glad they've got it done away with those mechanics, and I feel like there's fewer instances of this. Dark Eldar used to be an issue for me. Like again, I was playing against Justin, so this was he outclasses me as a player.
Yeah,
and so it was like, oh, I put my Marines here. Well, I shoot them from out of range of view and kill them all, and I'm like, oh, with these 6 Vipers, and I'm just like,
Venoms.
oh, or Venoms, Venoms. So it'd be like, oh, he'd stick like the nose out around the corner and outshoot me and outrange me, and I'd just be like, oh, well, why did I play this game? That's where I think the feel bads come in. So I think you were absolutely right, and I apologize for interrupting and stealing your thought.
No, that was it. Yeah,
But I think we're on the same page. Is what I'm trying to
absolutely.
say. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's take a short break. We'll come back and then we'll close out the show. All right, and we're back, and we'll just. You guys got anything else you want to add before we kind of close out the show here? And
no, it's been a really fun discussion.
That's been
it's
fun
nice
to have everybody
in,
in person,
especially since I haven't seen these guys in a while. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's been awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
You're not coming Saturday, right? Like you couldn't stay that late that we were starting.
What are you talking about?
I don't. It's this Saturday for Aaron's birthday.
Oh, right. No, I can't. I'm not going to be in town, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
I'm flying out early Thursday morning.
fair enough. That's okay. I was just looking forward to playing again.
Yeah.
You and I need to get a game.
the down and
you
back
and I need to get a
Yeah.
game in, Josh.
Saturday.
the down
Let's
and
make it
back
happen.
flights just didn't work. The time didn't work.
You're coming Saturday? I'm
coming.
I'd
Yeah,
love to.
let's-
I haven't
let's
played a
do
game against you in
Dude,
forever.
Yeah, it's been way too long.
All right.
Carl, did you know you and I have never played a game of 40K?
Oh,
Yeah, I do know that.
There's a reason.
you notice he didn't point to you in this
I
discussion.
know. He's like, I need to play with you. I need to play with you. Yeah, we've never played a game.
I've played one game of 40K against Skye, and that was enough.
Let me ask this. Let me ask this. Am I going to get a bonus 10 points in that game?
Yeah.
All right, we're in. The worst part is I probably still lose. I'm so bad.
I do have a shout out for our final messages here. Listener Chris Box did me a incredible solid and sent me the Jess Goodwin sketchbook for
wow.
which I had mentioned several episodes ago. Like I've been hunting this. I was like, honestly, as we're talking about all the models that have been
Right.
out of stock, the last year, what I've really been collecting are art books. Yeah. All kinds, not just 40K, but nerd, fantasy, you name it. Like art books have really been what I've been adding to my collection. And that one for the last 10 years or so that this printing's been out has been like eluding me. And I've been trying to track it down. He was gifted it from a friend. So he's passing it on to a good home. That's and awesome. I'm like incredibly grateful. So huge shout out to Chris for that. And
That's cool.
I can't say thanks enough. Like I will love that book for the rest of my days.
The thing I love about this community is how generous it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like all the negativity aside around like the Horus Heresy 3.0 and stuff like
That's the internet. That's different.
that's the internet.
Yeah.
Like our core community
Yes, our core
is
community.
incredibly generous and helpful. And I think, I don't know if I mentioned last episode giving Travis Doug's Space Wolf models.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just like, that kind of thing to me is just like, I'd love for you to use these, and and like I've been the recipient of some of this generosity. I think all of us have. It's just a fantastic community. So, and everybody listening to this show, you know, you're a part of that community, and we really do appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to give another shout out to Taryn Olmstead, because he's helped me so much with the Cult of Speed thing, because I was totally out of my depth, and been great talking to him about it. So
Nice.
I'll echo the thank you. You know, after like I said, I posted a Facebook message.
Yeah.
I was really low, and the
I could
community-
tell you were bummed.
Yeah.
and I don't normally get that low, and it was sort of I just needed to know that like the last 5 years of building the community actually mattered to people, and folks around this table and that are listeners and stuff really stepped up and really helped me be like, all right, let's buck up. Let's do this thing, right? Like everyone experiences those lows and has those problems in business and life, whatever. And so that was really awesome. It was really what I needed, because I did not see a way
and that's
out
a
of
very important message, actually, that you are not alone.
that.
Yeah.
Always talk to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the number of times I've received emails from people who are like, I was at a really difficult time. The show got me through it. Like, it blows my mind, because that was never what we set out to be. We were just like, we think we could do okay at this, you know?
Well, but I mean, it goes
I'm
back to
glad
that
it
be
helps.
part of the game group, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're all supporting each other.
Oh,
having
for
a good
sure.
time.
Social creatures. We need community.
Yeah, for sure.
This
All
is
right.
a good one.
All right. So speaking of being there for people, leave us reviews on iTunes or wherever, Bookface, wherever. You know, whatever your podcast feed of choice is, we appreciate that. Also, you know, one other thing that could really help is, for those who don't know, our podcast is available also on our YouTube channel. You can find the link to that on theindependentcharacters.com, as well as in our show notes. If you can go and like those posts, the episode in those, and, you know, share those or submit, you know, follow those.
Yeah.
Subscribe
Helps
to
feed
them.
the algorithm and gets the show out there to others.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that I think it doesn't draw as much as I thought it would. I mean, this is part of the reason we haven't been doing video stuff, is it just for the amount of effort we were putting into it, we weren't seeing the return on our investment there. So we kind of stopped that for the time being until we come up with
I didn't realize the
easier
audio was
solution.
still being put up on YouTube.
Yeah,
That's
every
good. That's a good
episode
point.
automatically gets pulled up there.
That's a good point.
A lot of the backlog episodes too.
And make a comment. If you have any comments, you can make them there too.
Oh, I got comments.
We look at them. I'll bet you do. We have our Facebook group. We have our Patreon. We just released 2 of our live play episodes on Patreon, which were the Pubicle Sevens.
Oh, God.
Imperium Malediction.
Cubicle Sevens, Imperium Maledictum, the playthrough that we were doing while we were running ourselves through the rules of the game and familiarizing ourselves with that.
And I've been loving the Discord community too.
I make no promises to the quality of of the storytelling in that. I will say we had a good time playing it. So so there you go. The Discord community.
Discord's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been super cool for keeping in touch. I think I do more chatting on Discord than anywhere these days.
Yep. Same.
All right, you guys got any last minute you want to plug? What's the podcast you're on there with Brian?
Lost to the Nails.
Right, that's what it's called.
Yeah, with Eric and Brian, and come listen to our hobby ADHD.
Yeah,
It's fun.
yeah.
It's a good
How often are you guys putting out episodes?
We've done 3 in a row.
It's incredible.
I think in the whole
Guy's cracking the whip. Dude.
I know.
Guy's back on track.
He's like,
fearful
if-
corporate overlord.
If you're gonna get the Herrick discount, you're gonna put out
I think the show put out. I think the show put out 2
Episodes. What
last
are you
year.
talking
So,
about?
Like, the fact that you've already done 3 in the
Yeah.
last 3 months is
we just
phenomenal.
recorded episode 21. It's been out 5 years, and 3 of those were in the last 3 months. So
It's going places though. No, it's a good
look
time.
it up.
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool. It's all, like there's very different viewpoints, right?
Yeah.
And it's been really fun. So
Yeah, people would like that when people argue about stuff. And Brian has a sultry voice.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
he
I think
does.
he
He
has.
does.
I think he has the best.
I'm not a
voice.
World Eaters guy, but I listen to it just for Brian.
Yeah. All right. Well, until next time. This is Carl.
This is Josh.
This is Adan.
This is Skye.
We're coming to you from the Astronomicon, where fun should happen in every phase of the game.
And where who go?
Gross. So gross.
And where big hats aren't such a big deal.
And you shouldn't wait 10 years to get 15% off at Eric Games.
All right. We'll see you next time. This episode of The Independent Characters is protected by the Creative Commons license. If you have further questions as to its use, you can find information on the front page at theindependentcharacters.com.